Hello and welcome back to Tabletop Tuesdays, and we're going to take it very, very low for this one because we're going to play a very serious, very dark RPG, which means that my characters have picked the most stupid names possible.
I dressed for the occasion. Possible. I got the memo about the dark
and yeah, exactly. Now, why are we submerged in the dark? Well, today we're going to be playing a game called 10 Candles by Stephen Dewey. You can see in front of us. We have 10 candles ready to go, which we're going to be lighting. Oh, you got out QVC'd, Grace. Sorry. So I'm joined by James.
Hello.
Is this your first tabletop stream?
It's my first any stream, in fact.
Oh my god.
I know. Such a baby.
Wow. This is a wacky stream to be your first.
Yeah, I know.
Wacky.
Wacky. You mean spooky?
Snazzy.
Snazzy table, Grace. Flying on over to the man in the middle. Mr. Andy Belford. Hey,
hello.
Watching videos on Facebook.
I'm trying to get the chat pulled up. As usual, I am not prepared. It's okay.
Good.
Hello. Thank you. I am sorry. Excuse me. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
All right.
And last but not least, of course, Grace Carroll over there in the far corner.
We've met.
With your very dark jumper.
Dressed for the occasion.
Andy, it's still got the audio blaring back at us.
I just want to be interactive with the chat, that's all. And I should have prepared.
All right. So, welcome. This is 10 Candles. So,
and we have 10 candles.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you what, I've actually got, there's a lovely written little what you need to know section, which I can read a couple of paragraphs out to just give you guys a bit of...
Oh, please do. You have to make it spooky,
background.
Though. It's got to be scary.
Spooky. This is a game about telling a story.
The
story that you will tell is not a kind one, far from a happy one. It is the sort of story that has sharp edges, the kind that lingers long after it's gone, nesting in nightmares and drifting on every shadow. The kind that no one wants to tell, the kind that needs to be told. This is a story about what happens in the dark. This is a story about survivors trying to light up their little corner of the world and do something meaningful when in the few hours they still have left. This is a story about desperation, a story about people like you and I fighting back against the darkness, only to inevitably and inescapably be consumed by it. 10 Candles is a tragic horror, time-based, cooperative storytelling game through which you will tell the story of a dark world and those who fall victim to it. It is best played with 3 to 6 players and takes about 2 to 3 hours. So, snuggle in, guys.
Players right here.
Snuggle in.
I have a blanket.
You need a blanket.
It's bring one for the rest of us?
I always have my blanket on the stream.
There's plenty of blankets available if you guys get cold.
Is it big enough
dark.
for 3 people?
But most importantly,
no, it is
though,
not.
This is a game
with fire.
I guess you could say we're playing with fire.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't.
But I did.
It means various safety regulations need to be put in place.
Various very safe regulations, which we will not discuss.
Yes.
You do have a fire extinguisher at the ready.
Yes, we tweeted a picture of that earlier.
Yeah, a few things to know. I am going to be your games master for this evening. James, Andy, and Grace are going to be the players. I believe you guys have pre-selected your character names.
We have.
Would you like to tell us who you will be playing today?
Should we go down the line, or which way do you want to go?
You go ahead.
I'm going to be playing as Victor Lowe today.
Victor Lowe.
Victor Lowe.
Victor Lowe.
Victor Lowe.
Super low. The opposite of my actual last name.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Andy?
Well, I'm going to be Biff Bivington.
Bivington. I thought it was Biffington.
No, that would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous. Fair enough. And Grace?
I'm Trent, pronounced Tront. So that's Tront Blonville.
Blonville.
Tront
I thought it was
Blonville.
Blonville.
Have you got my name wrong already? Tront
It's fine.
Blonville?
It's not on the screen. I didn't have time.
Thought you said you'd met before. Thought you said you met before.
I told the camera that we met before.
Oh,
because
yeah,
you're
right.
new.
They've met Grace.
Yeah, because
Right,
you're new. And I was all like, we know each other.
So, as the game master, I'm going to be weaving this story. And there's a few different scenarios that we can select from. Perhaps we'll even let the chat decide which one we go for. We pick like a best of, and they can select which one we play. But the main thing about this system is it's all ad hoc. So you're never going to be too pre-prepared, because we're all going to be working together to forge this story. We're equally responsible for crafting the narrative, and you will find out why in just a second. The first thing we need to do, Andy is looking very prepared there with his little lighter in his hand, is how we must prepare. So, played around a table in the dark, ideally. The only light you will play by are the tea light candles. Please ignore this large studio light. We've
Thought
tried
that
to
was
make
the
it nice and
sun.
dark. Yeah, that is the sun, yeah. Well, technically in this world the sun has been blotted out, but that's fine.
Big mood.
Big mood. The darker you can make your play area, the better. So we've done our best.
Yeah.
So we're each actually going to have 5 index cards.
Oh.
I believe I gave everybody extra cards.
Oh, I
I
gave
have
my
exactly
extra one 2
5.
wheels, so if you
Exactly
wouldn't
5.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly
you.
5.
Well, here's an extra one in case
No,
you change your
no,
mind.
I
about
have
That's fine.
5, 6.
Okay.
I've got 6 here if somebody needs 5.
No, we're fine. We have extras right here.
Okay,
Real
good,
good.
good.
Our CA branded.
Yes, CA branded letter slips. So we've also got 10 dice over here, as you can see, in red. These are our regular dice. And then we've got a couple of purple dice, which basically are like our hope dice.
Hope dice.
Okay.
So, what is to come? So, essentially, the way in which this game works is we are going to start by lighting all 10 candles. And
On stream.
on stream, live. Burned live. So we're going to be using these candles kind of as like a timer for our time left here on Earth, essentially. When we start with 10 candles, we've got all the time in the world, but as we start to dwindle and the light comes out, we will reach closer and closer to death.
Yep.
They are scented.
And I believe we're supposed to
They are scented passion fruit and blueberry candles.
very
spookiest
spooky.
of candles,
Very
yeah.
spooky.
Very spooky.
We're supposed to light 3 at a time, I think, too,
3 at a
because
time.
the narrative will actually tell
Yes,
you.
yeah, we've got
as we,
some things to say, right?
Yes, you have things to say.
Yes, I do.
We're pretty silent for the first part of it.
Well, the first thing we actually do is we need to write some traits, actually.
Ah, yes.
So, the interesting thing about the characters is, although you guys have names, you don't actually know who you are just yet. So, the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing our pen and our index cards, and we are going to be selecting traits for the characters to our left and right. Now, you'll be interested to know that James and Grace, if we count this as a circle, are technically next to the GM, which means that they have something to say about what they are. They are some indescribable horror, which is feasting on the dark and consuming everyone around you. And
Same.
And we'll find out just what kind of shape they'll take. But that's going to be secret to everyone apart from the person who wrote it. So, the first thing is to determine our traits. So, every character has 2 traits, a virtue and a vice. Your virtues are positive traits, and your vices are negative traits, of course. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a virtue. So everyone write one virtue, one virtuous characteristic. It could be brave, it could be fast, it could be attractive, it could be comforting, it could be anything you like, as long as it's a positive virtue. And then you kind of want to think about something that's actually going to be useful as well, as opposed to just like good at card tricks. Grace, what have you done?
Yep, no worries.
Can MacGyver be a virtue?
It's more of a name.
Well, you've never heard of the term to MacGyver something?
Yeah, that's a verb.
Is he the one on The Simpsons?
Huh?
Is he the guy of The Simpsons?
No,
Patty-
it's like
who's
a
that guy?
detective. It's
It's
a
Richard-
detective show.
Who's the one that
It-
Patty and Selma watch?
It's Richard Dean
Yeah,
Anderson.
they watch
Yeah,
MacGyver.
it is MacGyver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's MacGyver.
Definitely.
Richard
Yeah,
Dean
but it's not a
Anderson.
Simpsons character. I mean,
All right.
yeah.
Well, then
Anyway,
I'll use a synonym for MacGyver, and then I'll
crafty, I guess. Yeah.
more resourceful.
Okay.
That works.
Each player should have a number of things, and then we're gonna pass that one to the right.
Okay.
So pass your virtue to the
Okay,
right.
then.
Your virtue, my friend.
I don't think you actually do one, Wheels, do you?
Yeah, because otherwise James wouldn't have one.
Yeah, you
True.
would. Grace will.
Oh
pass-
no, you're very true. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're very true. Yeah.
So Grace
pass
gives
that
it
to
to
Okay, so you
James,
go here.
and I go here.
I'll go here.
Okay, I
Thank
filled
you
in
very
mine
much.
up, but I guess we're all seeing each other's.
Right.
No, you're supposed to see.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're
I
supposed
filled
to
in mine
Oh,
up 'cause
okay.
I'm a secretive person.
Oh, okay.
We're sharing these, or
Well, next up we're gonna write the vice
okay, let's do that first.
On
So-
a different bit of paper?
on a different bit of paper,
Okay.
and these vices are going to be passed to your left instead. Each trait should be a single word, by the way.
I am terrified by the fact that Grace is deciding my vice. I'm sure she's going to give me something horrible and awful.
So the way that we use these traits is after we roll to resolve a conflict, if one of your traits is active, you may choose to burn it in order to re-roll all dice that landed on a 1. We'll understand what that means in a moment, but essentially every time you roll a 1, you're going to be losing that dice for the rest of the candle that we're currently playing through. So so that's very handy, but you can only have one thing active at a time, the thing that's at the top of your pile. So it might be that you have to sacrifice a part of yourself, or to sort of surface a positive trait about you, so that you can help your fellow friends. So pass your vice to left. Oh, you turned up, have you, mate?
I haven't thought of my vice yet.
Have you got the thing?
Calling him out.
Have you got,
You got
the thing?
Ah,
Oh,
excellent.
there
Just
we go.
on
This is going to
time.
make this so
This is
much
Absolutely
easier.
perfect.
So much easier.
All
Ooh,
right.
is that extra lighter
We got
fluid as well?
oil.
Or do we have to put that
We got
in?
fluid.
Damn.
Careful
Jordy,
with
my
that.
friend, could you do me another favour? Could you please raise up the screen on the red stand thing? I don't know where it ended up. The standy boy.
Careful of the cord.
You got it? There we go. Shout out to Jordan, everybody, in the chat.
Hey.
Well done, Jordan. Turn up just in time.
It all heating up. It's about to.
Well, people commenting on how dark it is. It's on purpose.
Right.
It's a spooky.
It will be slightly lighter once we've lit the candles.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Some people saying.
No. Don't worry about that. I've actually got a remote.
Even
somewhere.
brighter when we burn the building
You
down.
just-
Some people saying not the best choice for stream, but we're
so we
experimental
pass this to
here
the
on
left, right?
Tabletop Tuesday.
Yes, your vice is going to go to your left.
Is that a secret?
So presumably.
No, it's not
Ah.
a secret. But
Wow.
you've made it a secret.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you, Jordan.
Can you ask for clarification on a vice?
Ask the person who gave it to you. Yeah.
Do you mean physically or emotionally or
Either.
mentally?
It's your choice.
Oh, okay.
do
Yes, but you can just
Interpret
it
determine
as
how,
you will,
How,
yeah.
how it's words, yeah. Interpret it, yeah. That's the one.
Okay. So we all know each other's.
And now we light 3 candles, right?
I believe so.
Check the instructions. We prepared for this. Heavily.
Da-da-da.
And this
Yeah,
is-
I think you're right. I think we're going to light 3 candles per thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.
So,
I feel very
real fire
ceremonial.
on stream for the first time ever.
That's right.
in the world.
In the world. We can't actually verify that claim.
All right. So, next thing is to create our concepts. So, this is essentially who your character is, what they do. So, you're going to jot down the information on another index card, and this one you're going to do for yourself. So, write down your name. What do they look like at a quick glance? And then the concept in a few words. Who are they? What are they? You know, are they a struggling doctor, or are they a successful playwright? Up to you. Then we're going to light another 3 candles, I believe. Ooh. How is everyone in chat, by the way, whilst these guys are doing that? If you've just joined us, we're playing an RPG called 10 Candles. And this is a tragic horror RPG in which all of the characters die at the end. Spoilers.
What? Did not sign up for that.
I know, right? As time goes on, the candles will extinguish, and when the light is completely removed from us, the game will end.
How much do I have to write about myself?
As much as you want. Just so you want a name, what you look like at a glance, and who you are.
Okay.
Could be a profession, could be interests and hobbies, could be anything you like. Charities Lady says, "Ha, the glass jars are a smart touch. So many candles have been lost before by sighs of relief after a lucky dice roll." Yeah, this is an interesting rule. If any of these candles go out, they're gone for good. So you will actually lose a lifeline. If some kind of gust of wind came into the room and accidentally blew out 2 of the candles, then your time on Earth just got a whole lot shorter.
Andy, don't sneeze. Stay as you are. Do not sneeze.
Oh, now I'm going to.
That's a promise.
Yeah. That's just how it works. You tell me not to do it, I'm going to. So
what
I'm
I'm
going to
doing.
be thinking about nothing but sneezing now.
Oh, God. Especially not burp with that nondescript, unbranded cola.
Absolutely. What you don't know is I've already burped several times.
Fantastic. Is everyone done?
Is
Would
this
you
one
like
a
to
secret?
introduce your characters?
Oh, okay. Am I going
Start
first?
with you, Mr. Lowe.
Okay, so I'm Victor Lowe. I am an ex-postman with dreams of becoming a gymnast. So that should be fine. I'm a large, stocky gentleman with absolutely no hair whatsoever
Fantastic.
on any part of my body.
And you're completely
Whatsoever.
completely slick.
Totally slick.
Like
I
a
just want to be
dolphin?
pure.
Exactly.
Do we get to hear the Vice and Virtue as well?
I believe
Yes.
Or
you
does that
can.
come later?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be useful.
So what is your vice and your
Cool.
virtue?
So my vice is I am flexible,
Your vice? You mean your virtue is flexible?
My virtue is flexible.
Good
Neither,
do you
really.
want to be
Let's be honest.
famous?
I have to.
So you
got
chose
it.
the
Addicted to
literal interpretation.
Yep,
Okay.
very flexible,
Okay.
hence the gymnast aspirations. And as a vice, I am gluttonous, hence the large, stocky
Hence the
appearance.
large stocky. Okay,
Exactly
very nice.
right.
All right.
I will eat anything that comes towards me,
Anything?
Even the dark.
Even the dark.
including the dark
Excellent.
and them.
Them. Mm.
Moving down the line.
So Biff Bivington is an older gentleman. He's in his early 50s. Very charismatic and charming. Seems to kind of carry an aura of calmness about him at all time, which is my virtue.
Yeah.
However, he is a failed politician who was disgraced in a very public way,
Oh dear.
which is explains his vice. He's a compulsive liar.
Okay. Very
Yes.
nice. Very nice. Moving down the line. Last but not least, Grace.
So Tront Blenville.
Excuse me, did you say Tront?
Tront
Tront?
Blenville.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
so
French?
Your surname changes
No.
every
No?
time you say it.
Is,
Oh, excuse me, are you French?
No.
French
So Tront is tall and blonde. He works at his father's company. He's quite wealthy. His favorite movie is Fight Club,
Nice.
and he's currently on a gap year. He is very resourceful, so he knows how to get what he wants, but he's also very weak. So you'll see, I guess, how that's interpreted. Not physically
Later on.
weak,
Okay.
very weak-minded.
Okay, fair enough. So, using another index card now, guys. This is quite important now that you know your characters. We are going to be giving yourselves a moment. So this is not something that you have to publicly announce, I don't think. So your moment is something that you're hoping to achieve. And it can be as vague or as specific as you like, but it has to be something that you hope you can do by the time that your time on Earth has turned up. And by doing this moment, by achieving your goal, you're going to... Stop it, Grace. You're going to earn yourself a permanent die that you won't lose.
Isn't there a sentence we're supposed to write at the top to kind of preface that?
Yeah, so how to write a moment. Moment should be encapsulate an event that would be reasonable to achieve and kept succinct and clear to provide strong direction to fold them into the narrative. They can relate to a goal your character has or an experience that you as a player would like your character to go through. So you are going to write, I will find hope, and
There
then
we
finish
go.
the sentence. So, for example, in a moment of prayer at the quiet church, or with one of them lying dead at my feet, or when the truth of the sky is revealed to me. So once your moment becomes active, i.e. it's at the top of your pile of paper, it can be lived. So at this point, the player should start looking for a chance to weave it into the story, and it's up to everyone to work together in order to make moments happen, and to make them evocative, intense, and most importantly, hopeful. So once you get hope, you're going to provide yourself an extra die. When a character is ready to live their moment, a conflict roll is required. And if the roll is successful, hope is inspired. You've gained a respite of peaceful prayer. One of them falls to a storm of bullets, or the fallout shutters door swings shut behind you safely. If the roll is unsuccessful, hope is lost. Your respite of prayer is interrupted, etc. Once the moment is resolved, either successfully or unsuccessfully, you burn your moment. If it's inspired, then the player is awarded with a hope die, and the scene continues. Hope die are specific to each player, is then be rolled in addition to the community die pool, so it gives you an extra chance of succeeding at things.
Yep.
Unlike normal dice, when only succeeded on a roll of a 6, hope die succeed on a roll of a 5 or 6. In addition, they will not be lost if they land on a 1, so they're very powerful.
Okay. And I believe the moment can be shared. It's the brink is the
Yeah.
only thing that's supposed to be super secret.
Yes. So
Okay.
if you want to tell everyone what you want to achieve, then you're very welcome. Grace looks like she wants to share.
What's your one shot?
I will find hope if I manage to get laid.
God.
That sounds so
Everyone
Trant.
has to help me make it happen.
That is so Trant, let me tell you.
I swear it was your idea to gauge away from those kind of
That was
themes on this
different
stream.
last time. Look, Trant wants to have fun in his gap year.
All right. So now we're going to discover our brinks, and this is the darkest aspect of our character.
Okay.
We're going to light another 3 candles, I believe.
Trant has darkness.
Trant's a bit of a douche.
How
A bit of a
dare-
douche.
When my father hears about that.
So the last index card that you're going to have for yourself is your brink. Your brink is always at the bottom of your pile. It's your absolute last option in any scenario. It is the lowest you are willing to go. It is the worst possible thing you could do to survive. And this is not going to be written for you, I don't believe.
Okay.
So,
We write it for the person to our left.
yeah, so
Okay.
writing a brink is much like a trait. However, instead of describing what a character is, brinks describe what a character is capable of. So, it should be a dangerous thing. It need not be rooted in violence in order to be dangerous, especially with them on the hunt. Brinks are meant to demonstrate that a character has broken. And while brinks may create their own plethora of problems when embraced, the biggest concern should be amongst the survivors. Brinks should truly call a character's humanity into question.
Which way are they being?
It should be kept to a single word or a short descriptive phrase. Just as with traits, don't worry about making them too specific. The more situations it can apply to, the better. So when writing a brink, it's also suggested you write a story explanation on the card outlining when or where your character saw the brink embodied by your neighbour. So this is interesting. So you're going to be... your brink is something that has been witnessed by another character.
Okay.
So we write, I have seen you, ...
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. And then this is going to be passed to... You said it was your left, Andy.
I believe it was to the left, yes. It should tell you.
Yes, yeah. So now
And
this,
those
is,
are
this is
secret.
interesting for you, James. No, I need you to stop
Okay.
writing. So, the player sitting to the right of the GM has a unique responsibility. It is the player who writes the brink for them, framed as I have seen them, and determining through it what they are capable of. Through writing this brink, the player in question holds a lot of power to establish the abilities or even the identity of them.
Them is the ubiquitous
Ooh.
bad person or bad entity.
Bad people.
It's bad
Which
wolf.
means,
Bad wolf.
Grace, I'm going to be writing yours.
Nice.
Oh boy.
I think you mean Tront.
Tront.
I
I have seen you mispronounce your name.
So, Tront, are you from Taunton?
No,
No?
no.
Taunton, New Jersey?
I'm from Cambridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm English.
Where would you like this set, by the way? Do you want it in the UK? We could do it in Horsham,
I want it in the desert.
in the desert.
Yeah,
Which desert? A desert?
Nevada desert.
Nevada desert.
Oh, so
No, the
the
Sahara.
Mojave? Oh, come on. The Mojave's
The
so much fun.
Sahara desert.
Almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Oh.
Last time I was on a boat, wasn't it? That was quite good.
Hmm?
I liked it when it
We
was
did
on
do a
ship.
boat one.
That
We'll
was
read
fun.
through the. I'm gonna grab 3 scenarios which are pretty interesting, and I'll let
Okay.
chat decide which one we do.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Do
That
we
sounds
pass
pretty fun
these?
to me. So yeah, pass that to your left. No, you can't share this with anyone,
Nope.
apart
But
from the person who obviously saw
I
you.
know it.
Yeah, that's actually part of the mechanic is that you know, because you literally did see me do this thing.
Oh yeah, we played this before, but it was like
Okay.
a year ago.
Right.
And we had sound
You
effects. We had the
filthy.
sound of the
Did
sea.
have sound effects.
I
this time.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Thank you.
Okay.
So no one's really seen me do this then.
No.
Well, they have seen you do it, I guess.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, is the
They
idea.
are always watching.
Always watching.
I mean, this just sounds like Tront's normal daily activity, to be honest.
That's so Tront.
Oh, Tront does it again.
Such a rascal.
Okay. Right. So, I'll get to brinks, but we won't need those just yet. So, arranging your stacks. So, at this point, you should have a hidden brink, a concept, a moment, and 2 traits written on index cards in front of you. And then I should have a single brink, which I do. So, over the course of the game, you're going to slowly work through them. But the next step is to arrange these cards into stacks. So, set the concept card aside. That's just for your reference. And then stack the rest of your cards in whatever order you want within the group. But all brinks should be on the bottom. So this is important because the way in which you interact with these is determined by the order in which they're sat. So you can only do the top one first. So you can only do the second one once you've completed the first one, essentially.
How do I complete a virtue?
So you're going to use it as part of a
Oh,
complex roll.
okay.
So if you want your moment to happen early on, you might want to have it at the top of your stack, for example. But your brink is always the last thing that you're willing to do. So we're going to light our final candle, which we've done.
Yes.
Your characters have whatever you have in your pockets. Apart from that, you'll have to acquire everything else. You don't have any pockets. Ah, classic.
I guess
Nothing.
I've got a mic pack
And a mug of coffee.
and a pen and a
a
mug of
pen.
coffee.
I have 2 lighters, a pen,
Good job, I'm resourceful.
and a Diet Coke.
I got a
Or, excuse
phone.
me, a non-name brand
Non-name
diet
brand
soda.
descriptive soda, yeah.
Excuse me.
And I have a phone and a glasses
I've got
cloth.
fun as well.
I have
Oh,
a phone.
No, I'm just going to
Perfect.
quickly grab my remote, which I forgot to grab.
So if anyone's glasses need cleaning over the course of this, do let me know.
Okay.
Oh, you've got glasses as well.
So
No,
now,
that's true. Yes.
the people at home will have to tell us, is this too dark? I think it might be.
Maybe just slightly.
We'll keep that
There we
one
go.
on.
Or if you had the
fantastic.
purple
that's
one.
25 now.
Oh yeah, the purple one.
What about the purple light?
I don't think that'll actually come up on screen. to be honest.
Have a look.
Give it a go.
Is there a gobo that'll?
And it...
And turn the light off.
I don't think it'll pick up.
By one.
Not even close.
Nah, not
Makes
even
no
close.
difference whatsoever. Cool.
Yeah, we just dim. Whoa, gosh. all this light on and off is really messing
Yeah.
with my pupils right now.
Everyone's saying that was too dark.
Okay,
I don't know
good.
if we could tell.
Good.
Who
that's
said
fine.
that?
It's very
Right.
spooky though.
Now, I'm going to give you guys a choice here. Technically, it's part of the game. Oh, actually, Grace, can you turn that one off for me?
How?
There's a green switch at the back. Technically, the rules of the game state that as your characters, you're going to record a video message that you want people to hear
Oh, that's
after your
right.
death. Now, I've heard a few people be a little bit, bit nervous to do this because it's a little bit like you've barely discovered your character and you're straight into acting. If
Oh,
you
I
don't
got
want to do
fun.
it, then feel free. But if you guys are all keen,
I'm down for it. You have to remember,
Yeah.
I was a drama major in college, so like this is like stretching my improv muscles that I haven't stretched for years
you
now.
happy, James?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a drama major, but
Grace?
let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a major drama, so.
Okay, this is true. That's fine. All right, here we go. So I'm going to grab my little recorder,
Major drama.
which I'm assuming I have.
Is that like a rank in the military? Major drama.
Major drama.
Okay.
God's sake.
Major drama reporting for duty.
I like the purple light's still on, even though literally no one can see it except us.
I can't be bothered
Atmospheric.
to get back up and
It's
do it
mood
again.
lighting. It's like the light, like if you have a TV that's got the backlight on it,
I know what he's talking about. It's just-
Okay, thank you.
Right, James, you're going to start. Is that okay?
Oh, am I? Okay.
Okay, so
Sure.
so what you're going to do is your character may leave any brief message they wish. They might call out to family members, foreshadowing their moments, request aid from anyone who might be listening, or simply say goodbye. Whatever the message, make sure it's recorded and turn the recorded over to the GM when everyone has contributed. Please do not press any buttons.
I'll do my best.
What scenario is this being recorded like that?
That's a very good question. Let's figure out what we're playing first.
Yeah, we're
Because I'm like, is this my Tinder profile? Is this before I get on a death ship? Like, what's...
Is that all you think about, Grace?
Tron.
I mean, it kind of has to be Tron's Tinder profile.
All right. So let's have a look at some of the more standard ones. So we have one that's set in 1918 in the World War. We have one which is you're in some kind of nuclear bunker. We've got the Burning Man. Members of your commune have long spoken against the evils of the modern world's reliance on technology.
I'm not in a commune.
Well, Tron sounds like he might be in a commune, to be fair.
He seems dumb enough to just be a commune.
Tron would never wear clothing made out of, like, hair sacks. Tron only wears suits.
There's one.
Sounds like
in-
Tron wears a lot of J. Crew, actually.
Tron wears Jack Wolves.
Maybe Abercrombie.
There's one where you're in the military and you're on a
English
destroyer
only.
ship. There's one in a mental health clinic. There's one in a local airport. Well, what are you guys thinking?
Oh, airport would be cool.
airport.
Airport?
sounds fun.
Yeah, airport sounds
let
great.
me read this out. All right. The local airport handled the situation as well as possible when the sky went black. At first, the staff tried to keep everyone calm and flights were simply delayed. A couple of days later, the airport resumed business. Then they came. Terminal B went dark first, then C. You are in Terminal A, where the generators have held. For now.
Okay.
Is the screen glitching out?
The screen
It
is
is a
glitching.
little.
Chat, can you let us know if the camera is glitching?
I mean, it's very atmospheric,
We do actually kind of like it.
but I don't know if that's
It's got
happening for
it's got a
them.
little bit of like a ring kind of thing to it, ring vibe to it.
Yeah, like our on-screen people are going to start doing something different to what we're doing.
Well, just like as long as James doesn't start like
Someone
crawling across
crawls
the
out of the
table.
TV.
Okay, that
I'd
kind
be
of thing.
impressed if he managed to not
Well,
knock anything over.
We'll see how the
There's
story
been a
goes.
cat. Phone call.
You can fix that.
Is it happening on the stream as well?
Yeah.
All right.
it is.
That's
That'll be
kinda
very
cool.
rude, chat. I have to let my wife know that I'm on stream right now, so apologies.
That's fine.
I'm just going to text.
This
Just send her a link.
Yeah.
We'll be-
This is your video message. Hey!
I'm glad you stopped the recording.
Oh, yes.
All right, so I'll check with chat. Do they like the airport idea?
Did
What
they
was
like
that?
the screen glitches?
Chat, let us know. Do you like the airport?
Philosopher
I think
Booker
it's
saying that
good.
sounds
I think-
interesting. I like the airport idea.
Okay.
I think we should speed things along anyway. We've been doing
Okay.
a lot of setup.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, Mido, feel free to try and fix it in the background. We'll carry on. Only a few short minutes ago, there was an announcement over the airport intercom. A strong, confident voice said, "If anyone's left, I'm in Terminal D. The power's still on here, and there's a plane fully fueled at Gate D14. I'm a trained pilot, and we will wait 3 hours for anyone listening to get here before I take off. There has to be somewhere that's safe. Can you make it safely to Terminal D? The tram may still run, or you might be able to make it through Terminals B and C. The pilot must be right. Safety's out there. Somewhere." It's giving me Left 4 Dead vibes.
Why does the pilot have a bad American accent?
I don't know.
Is there first class on this plane? Because I did
Is-
pay for a
Yes.
first class ticket, so I just think I want to sit in coach.
Young man, I believe that the term they use these days is business class.
And maybe for you.
Fair enough.
First, I'm a 5-star man.
One of these is written by a guy called Patrick Whelan.
What? What?
Glad you broke our immersion to share
this
that.
Is the one
Kismet.
called, this is the one written by Patrick Whelan. All right, we're definitely doing this one.
All
Sorry,
right, let's
chat.
go.
Thank-
Okay.
Shout out to Patrick
Cool.
Whelan for this one.
Very glitchy still.
There we go.
Maybe it's them.
Maybe it's them.
We are
Maybe it's made of me.
aware of the issues with the camera, folks, and so we're working on getting that
We've got our little
fixed.
gremlin crawling around.
right now. The guy is crawling around.
Literally crawling around.
And
Oh,
whoa,
wow.
Whoa. This definitely does. It's
It
like
does
it
set
is
the- set the
contributing
mood,
to the
doesn't it?
mood.
As long
Yeah.
as it can hear us.
I think it's fine. Yes.
Hello,
It's
welcome
fine. It's
to
just a
the
visual.
emergency radio broadcast. It has been 4 days since the
Very,
event.
very War of the World.
All right, so we're going to be doing this scene by scene. Every candle represents a scene. As soon as
Just blow
that
the
candle
disc
goes
off
out,
to see
either
if that
because we
fixes
failed
it.
or because it goes out, that scene is over.
Okay.
In between each scene, depending on the amount of candles remaining, we're going to make a statement of facts, taking it turn by turn, about the situation in the world that we're in. So, for example, I might say, Biff's leg has broken, or something like that. Doesn't have to be positive, doesn't have to be negative.
Oh, I remember
It's
this.
anything you like, and you're going to establish the scene before we start. So, the first thing we always say, is, if I can find it.
Good news is everyone can hear us fine, so the screen glitches remain atmospheric.
Yes.
Yes. Everyone is saying this is so spooky, though. I believe the term you're looking for is spoopy.
Yeah. So the first thing that's going to be said is I'm going to say to everyone, these things are true. The world is dark. And then once we've said the amount of candles worth of statements, taking it in turns, we will end with, and we are alive. Of course, we won't be saying that at the end.
Fair enough.
And we did.
So, are you ready to roll? Are you good to go? Is everyone feeling sufficiently spooky?
Got my boarding pass and my
Hold on a
roller
second.
suitcase.
I need to get into character.
Spooky me.
I need to get into character.
Hold on, are we supposed to do like some... No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You ready? You ready?
Front is ready.
Tron is ready.
Let's go.
Oh, you need to do your messages.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that's
the
what we're
first thing.
doing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Nope.
Nope, yes it is. This is Victor Lowe speaking. If you're listening to this, I'm dead. And so are my friends. I was going to say something else.
We're not friends.
I remember what it was. Now I don't. Bye.
To all of my constituents, faithful and true, thank you for your support over the years. It is with much regret that I have had to leave this world, an unfortunate victim of the darkness that has befallen us
Oh.
all. And now, the
Carry on,
darkness.
carry on, it's fine.
The darkness has truly claimed me once and for all.
Tron here, if I die, I would just like to ask that no one look in the bottom drawer of my office desk, and that the message on my gravestone reads, Tront, beloved by all. Please spell it T-R-E-N-T. Thank you.
Just a straw poll of the chat. How many of y'all really truly dislike Tront right now?
Definitely was in character when I almost forgot how to spell.
T.
Okay. Right, everyone. These things are true. The world is dark.
The airport is dark.
I am the most capable person here.
There are unfortunately no women in this group.
No men either.
What are we?
Who knows?
I was supposed to say one for you.
Oh, wait. All right. Let's ignore mine. You go.
Let's
You
ignore
go.
yours
No, you
'cause
go.
it didn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
you go.
Okay. You've heard screaming from the bathrooms.
We have a matchbook each.
I missed my flight.
It sounds as though the aircon is still working.
There are scratching marks all across the floor, leading towards the other terminals.
They are near.
And then finally,
And
we
we
are
are alive.
okay. So you find yourself in Terminal C. As previously stated, the lights are completely off, and you are almost entirely surrounded by the darkness. The only thing keeping you at least sane are the small matchboxes that you find on your possession. A few of you light them to give you some kind of vision, but your main objective right now, and your most important objective, is to find some way of getting to the light. What do you do?
I mean, this is just terrible service. They should send someone.
Well, now, son, I don't believe that we...
Please don't call me son. I'm not your son.
All right, Tront.
Thank you.
I do believe that we're on our own here.
As a pilot.
Well, yes, the pilot is on the other side of the airport through that terminal where I don't know if you noticed, but there happened to be some really suspicious-looking scratch marks on the ground there.
Probably rats in a place like this.
They look a little big to be rats, don't you think?
I've never met a rat in real life.
Well,
Looked in a mirror.
Wow,
Ooh,
you
shots
escalated that
fired
quickly.
Immediately.
I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but down where I'm from in the swamp, we have rats of rather large size, rodents of unusual size, one might say.
How big are we talking? Like dog-sized or
Right near.
right near? Well, I think the first thing we need to do is get some real lights on.
As you're talking, unnecessarily, the candles in your hands start to burn at your fingers, and you, in a shock, flick them out. You rapidly try and get them lit as fast as you can.
Candles. You mean the match?
Matches, sorry,
Okay.
my bad. As you've left yourself in complete darkness, we're going to put ourselves into your first dangerous situation. Perhaps sitting around bitching at each other was not the best
Use of our time.
use of your time. So, is there anyone who would like to lead the pack and try and get their match lit quickly? Because you're going to have to roll those dice.
I'll do it as an apology to Trond, I think.
Okay, so grab all of those red dice for me. You should have 10 dice. You have
Thank you.
10 because there are 10 candles still lit. Now you're going to roll those dice, and for every one that you roll, those dice are going to be taken away from you for the rest of the scene. And you need to roll at least 1 6 for you to successfully light your match.
Okay, sounds
Remember
good
how
to
well
me.
you did rolling last time we played?
Oh my god. Let's go.
Hey,
Oh,
That
that's
was
several
1.
sixes.
That was a 6.
You got one of there as well.
6, 6, 6. 3 in total.
And no ones.
0 ones.
So very,
Excellent.
very well done. So you very, very quickly select the match from your box and strike it. Now, because you are in control of the situation, because you rolled more 6s than I have, you get to now tell the narrative.
Okay.
What is happening?
So I strike my match on the lighter, flares up immediately. So a small glow starts to radiate from it, and I use that match to light up both Biff's and Trant's matches as well, just so they don't, blunder their match striking. We then try to make our way over to a nearby, I suppose, workman's area of the airport to try and find some sort of light switch, generator, anything like that. Luckily, we happen to find a light switch that, when flipped, all lights come on.
All lights.
All lights in the area we are currently in. Not every light on the planet,
Okay.
unfortunately, which would
so,
be great.
so that would be the small staff room that you're in.
The small staff room that we're in,
Okay.
yes. So it's lit up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you find yourself in the small staff room, and around you find a variety of things that were left by the staff that were working there and eventually escaped. You say it was a workman's room, so
Yes.
So it would be sort of tools, things like that. Is there anyone who would like to search, have a look around?
I'm resourceful, so can I see if there's anything we could use to make like a torch? Like a torch, not a torch. Okay, what do I need?
So you need at least 1 6, and as few ones as possible.
Oh no. Okay, I got
No ones.
4 6s,
There's 1 1.
1
Oh,
1.
one.
Okay, so that dice is going to be pushed next to the purple ones. Just leave it there. You cannot use that dice for the rest of this candle. So what happens, Grace?
Some of they're clearly doing building work because they've left large, not planks, like, not sticks, but, wooden
Like 2x4s.
objects. Yes, 2x4s. And there's also a lot of stuff in that someone has come in here before us and ripped out. All the seating area is ripped up. And there's also various nails and tape as well, so we could make clubs, or we could make torches, or both.
Are you going to
So-
attempt to?
Pardon?
Are you going to attempt to?
I'll go for a torch. I'm resourceful.
Okay.
Do I have to roll again?
Yeah.
I thought that extra dice with the 1 becomes yours. not the case?
Potentially. I'll read up on that. You carry
Or was
on.
that later? Cool.
No, I think they only grab a dice when,
Oh,
when the candle
no.
goes up.
Okay, right.
Okay, I got another 1, but I did get a 6.
Okay. So, you craft?
Yes, I
Carry
need
on.
a torch.
Keep telling me. What's happening?
And then I help the others make a torch or a weapon. Can they choose, or do I have to choose for them?
Well, you're currently leading the scene, so you go ahead.
Okay, so James, do I have to use character names?
Victor,
Right,
if
yeah,
you would.
Victor.
Yeah.
So Victor gets the torch, and Biff gets a club with nails
Okay.
for it.
And what have you constructed that out of? Sort of planks of wood that you found? or-
And nails and stuff in us. Yeah.
Okay. So you find yourself lightly armed.
Does that count as using resourceful virtue?
You only want to use that in dire situations, so don't worry about that too much. So you find yourself lightly armed and with a more sustainable light source. Although it's not going to last forever, of course. Did you say it was a burning torch or an actual battery operated?
Burning torch.
Burning torch. So you've got a small source of light. I do get the lost dice. So
Yeah, you start
yeah.
rolling against
there
us.
we go. Right. So now that you have this source of light, you remember your initial objective, which is to try and find your way to D14, the pilot's gate. So what do you do?
Well, I'd look for a. I think we should probably go and try and find a directory of some sort to get to the terminal.
Yeah, so some
What-
signage or something would be perfect.
We're in Terminal B right now, so we got to go 2 over.
Two
and
over.
it's that way, I believe.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what the sign up there says.
There a big red arrow telling us D is in that direction.
That is what the sign up there
Okay.
says.
Yeah,
You should
then
know that.
Glad
I
we can all
am-
read.
I'm for it. Let's go.
All right then. If I remember correctly, this airport's got one of them their train between the terminals. We might be able to go and find that tunnel and pry it open and get there quicker.
Sure.
See if they have any of those things to drive the luggage around on. Maybe if we're all on something moving, it would be faster
I
than
think
walking.
that might be a better idea than the trams, because the tram may not have power.
I'm,
if we could find
I'm
one of
open to
those.
that. So yeah, one of those things that they take the old folks around on.
Good trolley, yeah.
Yeah. All right then.
And due to my enormous size, that may be good for me anyway. Walking, not so good for me.
Yet you are unusually limber.
Okay, so you're finding yourselves in a new short-term situation that you have to deal with. Some kind of transport which will take you through the terminals without having to rely on the tram. The problem is, as you look around you, although you have managed to turn on the lights of the staff room, the main lighting of the main terminal in which you find yourselves in now, where you were initially stood when you lit your matches, is completely kaput. You've tried flicking on switches everywhere you can, but they just don't seem to be turning on. Perhaps the generators are failing. Perhaps you need to start moving.
Well, we have our phones, so can I use the torch on my phone to have a look?
There's a small bit of battery remaining. Let's do a roll and find out how long it's going to last.
And
Yes. So, I now have dice, which means I'm now going to be rolling against you. If I manage to get more sixes than you, then I will take control of the narrative.
Does anyone
Even if
else
you
want to
succeed.
try and turn their phone light on?
I reckon I will.
I've lost dice already.
We roll at the same time, right?
I got 1 6.
I have 2 6s.
2 6s.
1 1.
One.
Yes.
I'll take that.
And 1 1. There you go.
All right, what happens?
Well, I asked Trant to lead the way and flick on my switch. I got about. I'm one of those folks that don't use their phone very much. Kind of an older guy, a little bit of a Luddite. So I've got about 75% of my battery. I had just been plugged it in, and when the lights went out in the airport earlier, so I should be good to go. And we can walk this way. If we walk this way, we walk out into the terminal, about 30 feet towards the concourse between the terminals. We actually do see a people mover, a trolley, as you called it, sitting there. We walk up to it, and it doesn't seem to be damaged in any way. However, there's no key in the ignition.
So, a new quest to find the key for the ignition of the trolley. And although most of the people that you shared the terminal with during the event in which the world went dark have fled and tried to find other respite, you would imagine that at least a few other people must be shacked up somewhere, hopefully some kind of staff. And as you entered the concourse, there was an overwhelming smell of decay and rot. Perhaps, maybe some fell during the dark event as well. Perhaps you could rummage around and look for some kind of supply or even some kind of clue as to where you can find these keys. Or maybe you'll even find the staff member who actually used to drive.
Your torch is still burning, so I'm going to turn this off for the time being. I turn off
God,
mine.
it smells bad in here.
We should stick together. I mean, I think I'd be fine on my own, but y'all I'm a little bit worried about. And perhaps we should try and find one of them porters or somebody.
Yeah, I definitely think staff could help us.
Well, no, I'm thinking they may have a key because they have people driving these things around. And if we can find maybe like an employee break room or something like that, they may have
Weren't we just
what
there?
we're looking for. Well, we were in
Need
a
more of like a janitor's closet there.
yeah, a
Hmm.
workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to find like a
Don't know
break
what
room.
staff rooms
Surely there
look
must be
like.
something nearby.
Uh,
Could just follow the smell. But that might not lead us.
You guys do that, I'll wait to make sure no one steals this machine.
well,
Is it wise to split up?
I don't want to go where it smells bad.
Okay.
All right then, young man, you stay back here.
Okay.
Shall we?
You and I, let's go.
Victor?
So the two of you press on, following the smell. Was that?
Yep. Seems to be the case.
So as you step closer and closer, the smells become more pungent, and they burn the hair in your nostrils, and you notice that there's an almost slight smoky smell to the rot. It accompanies it, and as it flies into your nostrils, you see a slight burning hue from one of the doorways. It's very, very, very soft and subtle, but it's just coming under the doorway. You think maybe there is some kind of fire or light source, and as you get closer, the smell becomes more and more strong. As you walk up to the door, it's shut, and you can see now a bit more clearly there's definitely some kind of fire behind it, and soft, small plumes of smoke come out from underneath.
Well, I mean, we have to have a look, don't we? Surely.
How far away are they from me?
They've walked probably, let's say, about 10 meters away.
So we can still hear you if
Same
you like.
room? Same area?
Same
We're in the
large
concourse.
area.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right, I take off my business coat, my sports jacket, whatever. I put it over the handle for the door and push it open.
Okay, you'd like to roll your dice?
Oh boy.
If you fall and smash your head open on the door.
Oh boy.
Is that
No sixes.
No sixes. Okay, so this is the first time you have failed.
I am going to.
You're going to use one of these.
Ooh.
Do you remember how this works?
Yes.
Good.
I basically get to I get to. Well, I essentially we burn this, but we can't do that.
So
According
we're going to tear it up and put it in the bowl.
Yes, we will tear it up and put it in the bowl. So this is my vice. I'm a compulsive liar.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I have to.
You have to frame that into what you're about to do. So
Frame it into-
why is the fact that you're a compulsive liar helping you in the situation?
So no matter what I see on the other side of that door, I'm going to frame it as something positive.
Spin it.
It's going to be spun. I'm going to frame it as something positive, even if it's something that makes it seem like a bad idea to continue on.
Okay.
I'm going to frame it as something positive. So, and I get to re-roll my dice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to, or no? Do you roll again? I don't know if you do or not.
It's a good question.
Let's take a look.
So
I
this
think
would
I
be-
just roll again. Chat, help us out.
We do have Charities Lady, by the way. Thank you very much for joining us. Who is a bit more familiar with the rules?
Okay.
Yeah.
We
No.
always have a chat.
Always
person.
one
There's
person. in
always
chat.
somebody who's
Absolute
played these
hero.
games. That's great. I love it.
There's like a little summary somewhere. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So once you use one of your... Oh, doesn't have that bit. I'm going to assume that we probably have to re-roll ours as well. So let's go for that.
Okay.
I got 1 6.
I got 2 6s.
Okay,
But
so
I
you're
also
safe.
got 3 1s.
3 1s. I'll be taking those then.
Wow.
Oh, and the
Oh,
Oh,
the candle went out anyway.
the candle went out because you jostled
That
it.
is probably my fault, but
She's-
that's fine.
she says it's just Andy
it's
that.
for
Oh, it's
but
just
I
me.
guess you won anyway. So.
I won anyways, but you did get 3 1s though.
Okay. Give that a relight, because that's my
Okay.
fault. That's my bad.
There we go. All right.
Completely
Yikes.
my fault.
Oh yeah, it was your fault. No one's
All right, so what happens, Annie?
I open the door, and on the other side, I see a pile of rotting corpses that have been burning for at least a day. The remains are smoldering, and it's a mixture of airport employees and passengers, you know, men and women, children, dogs, everything. They're just bodies, just inexplicably, stacked, piled upon each other like cordons of wood, and they've been burning almost like a pyre. And this is a very large room. It's like the central concourse where like the baggage is let out. Strangely, the baggage is neatly stacked on either side, on all sides of the bodies. I turn to Victor and I say, wait right here. And I walk in kind of shielding myself from, doing my best to protect myself from the residual heat of this mound of corpses that is dominating the center of this room. And I kind of look around, looking for the glint of metal that indicates it's like of a key ring or something like that. And I'm searching for a key ring, trying to find a way to get the trolley started.
Okay. So as you press your way through the smoke and the smell and the heat, as you get closer to the corpses, you scan, and you don't see anything explicitly shining. But as you're looking, you hear some rummaging behind the pile of bodies. Perhaps some movement of another person.
Looks like we've literally all split up.
We're completely separate from each other. It's great.
I hold the wood board up, and I say, Victor?
Yeah, Biff?
You may want to come in here.
Okay. So I wander in.
Mm-hmm.
I see Biff cowering behind this gigantic pile of burning corpses. I'm immediately horrified, obviously. No vomit just yet, though. We'll see.
Good.
We'll see how it goes. So I walk over not to Victor. I am Victor. To Biff.
Whoa! Doppelganger.
I know. And ask him, what's wrong? What's going on?
What's wrong? I mean, there's a
What's
bonfire
happening?
of corpses, but
Well,
is everything alright?
aside from the gigantic pile of burning bodies, what's wrong?
I heard a noise over there. You should, can you go scout it out?
You're right, you heard a noise.
I hold the board up higher, and I don't be careful. I got a weapon.
We all got weapons in here. What are you doing in our pot?
Just trying to get to the pilot. Trying to get to the plane. We want to get out of here.
You ain't one of them things, are you?
Depends on what those things are, but I'm a normal human being as far as I can tell.
You lucky if you ain't seen them yet. You stand back from the corpses now.
I lower the board. Y'all be careful coming out there. No reason to get all antsy.
So as you step back, you hear the figure that shuffle behind the corpses, and you can see some of the stacked luggage starting to move away, as if they're forming a small sort of corridor for you to walk into this hastily prepared fortification that they've made out of people's luggage. And it opens up a slight gap for you to squeeze through. Now, you come in here and you don't shift anything, all right? You move slowly.
All right. I put down the board and I kind of gesture to Victor. You might want to go get Tronk.
I start to back away slowly towards the door.
I say, my friend here, he's just going to go get the other one that's with us right now. Just 1 minute, and I'm coming forward. I'm unarmed. And put my hands up. And,
So roll your dice.
oh, boy.
What happens if we lose all the dice?
Scene's over,
Then
right?
you can't succeed your next.
Yikes.
Asking
No
for a
sixes.
And a 1.
I
feel like I'm
believe
doing-
now you fail.
No, you narrate what happens.
Yeah.
Yes, but you have failed,
You-
which
Oh,
means a candle is going to
Yes.
be extinguished. So, just so everyone is aware, whenever the characters fail at one of their actions, or if I happen to roll more successes than they do, even if they do succeed, I'm going to take control of the narrative. Whenever I take control of the narrative, something bad happens. So, because you have failed, this is going to end the scene, but it's also going to be narrated right now.
All right.
So as you shift your weight to try and squeeze through the small gap that he's made, you push about halfway through, and you can feel your sports jacket that you're holding in your hand is slightly caught on one of the latches of the luggage, and you pull it because you don't want to be without any clothing. You'll find yourself in a cold, dark airport. You need some kind of coverage. And the man says to you, "You leave that there now. You leave that there." And it's like, "Well, just 1 second, just 1 second." You say to him as you tug and you tug, but then you tug just a little bit too hard. And as the sports jacket pings back into your hand, you stumble backwards, and the luggage collapses around you. You are exposed, and some of the luggage begins to catch fire. The man shouts at you, kicks you in the leg. "The hell have you done? You've ruined everything." He backs off, pushes away some of the luggage, and sprints off into the darkness, carrying a small light source of his own, some kind of electric torch. You, at the sound of the noise, you hear some kind of murmuring in the background as things are approaching. So we're now going to do some more These Things Are True. So you prepare yourselves, guys.
Oh boy.
These things are true. The world is dark.
The fire is spreading slowly.
I am under several pieces of luggage.
The airport is getting cold.
The murmuring is growing louder, as if pouring in through different exits and entrances in the concourse.
The luggage is light.
I am able to free myself from it.
Some of the lights are flickering.
The burning of the luggage is providing at least a large light source, but it's also casting some very, very long shadows.
The burning of the luggage is also slightly warm, relieving some of the coolness.
And
We are all
We're
alive.
all alive.
okay, so you're going to grab all of your dice back, apart from
Woohoo.
one, which is going to stay with me, and carry on. Who wants to take charge?
Dice, baby.
I guess we'll start from Victor coming to get me.
Cool.
So I'm leaning against the trolley and looking at my watch, which is still working, and I'm like, and he comes sprinting over, and I'm like, about time. Like, have you guys just been like messing around or what?
I'll say I just left Biff. He's in there with some guy. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on, but I heard a crash as I came
Did
running
you
out
get
to
the
get
key?
you. No,
Great.
we didn't get the key. I think we do need to go rescue Biff though, because
He's
something's going on.
Probably dead.
I don't think he's dead. He can't be dead. Otherwise, what are we gonna do?
Actually succeed in finding a key. God, this would never happen in England.
You're right, it would never happen in England. Possibly. We don't know where it's happening.
I mean, your accent is interchangeable, so I can't tell what's happening either. I swear you sounded American a little while ago.
I'm a man of many places.
Fine, let's go find
Let's
Victor.
go
Just
get
because
Victor.
he's, I mean, Biff,
But
just because
Biff.
he's got the only. I don't bother learning you people's names, honestly.
Neither do I, apparently.
As you're muttering to yourselves, you notice the murmur that that your friend is obviously hearing quite loudly in his ears, but it's still quite distant to you, as it's still through the corridor that your friend walked through. And although it's distant, it's beginning to prick up your ears. You notice that there are things moving in the dark.
Can you guys keep it down? God, this place, I swear.
Your loud holler seems to draw them slightly closer, as if attracted to the noise.
That's the opposite of what I said. If I do this with the torch, are they gonna? How close are
Just
they?
swoosh it around.
Not close enough for you to see them.
Still gonna just do this as I walk. Stay back.
So are you walking towards the corridor?
I certainly am.
Okay.
I wanna
fine,
rescue
I'll
my good
follow
friend Biff.
him, but a little bit of distance between us, because I don't want to get got first.
Do you both have a light source?
We
do.
both had torches, yeah.
And it's just you at the club.
He dropped it
Of
on the
course,
way
yeah.
into the luggage.
Okay, so one of you is going to take the lead, of which you will be rolling the dice.
I suppose that's me, because I'm in front with
Yep.
Tront following, cowering behind
Listen,
me.
Tron
almost.
wants to stay alive.
Okibu says, "Rest in peace, Biff."
I saw that, yeah.
F.
So that is 1-6, and I have no sixes, but I'm going
But
to
you have
steal
a
those
two
ones.
ones.
I should point out, by the way, if you do decide to use one of your traits, you only re-roll the ones, not all the dice.
Right.
It thought it said all the dice.
It looks like it says the ones to me.
Okay.
Something
In order to
remember.
re-roll all dice that landed on one.
Gotcha.
So we
Okay.
cheated. Right, gotcha.
That's fine.
Perfectly fine. So,
Resourceful.
we Tront and myself, we run towards the door
Mhm.
that's holding my good friend Biff here. We barge through it, trying to see what that crash was. We see in front of us, obviously, the burning corpse pile, which Trant has not seen before. Trant vomits immediately because he's not used to such sights, as you may understand. Then I go and help Biff. Trant probably doesn't help, I would imagine.
Probably still on his hands and knees vomiting.
Trant's still on his hands and knees, yeah, buried. So I start like dragging boxes and stuff off of Biff there, who is presumably helping me to do so.
I am.
Yeah, not unconscious, fantastic. And then we root around for a little bit. We go into where this man was hiding out. We spot like a bunch of random objects. Not many of them are useful, but among them we find a key, a small key, presumably for a small trolley, for example. That's what we assume it is anyway. We also find some scattered objects, like a couple of cans of food, stuff like that.
So as you've been rummaging around, of course, the flames are growing brighter, and although they are casting some kind of light across the hall, you aren't noticing much in the darkness. It's only lighting as much as I'd say a quarter of the room, and you're in quite a large room. As you said, this is a baggage reclaim area, so there's quite a lot of space, quite a lot of trolley belts. The ones that you can see are completely empty. They obviously must have been ransacked by this stranger as he was building a small fort. But as you see the glow of the flames get larger, you started to notice twinkling objects in the distance.
Oh, hold on a second. I look over out of the corner of my eye. I see a familiar sight. Hold on. I reach over and grab a case. Oh, pull off the lid, and it's a set of Titleist golf clubs. Something I'm intimately familiar with. You know I'm a scratch golfer. And I pull out a 5-iron. Yep. This'll do just fine. Replace my club with a new weapon.
So you've got yourself a slightly more useful weapon than you had before.
That's right.
And as you pull out the club, the glinting on in the distance in the dark becomes a bit more noticeable as you catch it on the reflection of this new shiny club that you've picked up, and it seems as if they're getting closer.
Oh, that's the Louis Vuitton. That's my luggage. I can't believe these people have had their hands on it, honestly. I'll just pick that up. It's got my suits in it. God, it's not my suits. And my MacBook.
And your MacBook.
I got 3 6s, 2 1s.
No 6s, but I'll have those 1s, please.
Yep.
What do you find in the luggage?
So I grabbed my luggage and searching through it. I think what rich people have in their luggage.
It's just suits and MacBooks.
A set of Rolexes.
A set.
Money.
MacBooks, really expensive cologne, maybe?
Anything useful?
Probably a toiletry kit.
I mean, yeah, my what are those razors? Where they're like cutthroat razors.
Oh, a straight razor.
Straight
Yeah.
razor. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So I'll take that. What else do rich people have?
Why would you carry luggage? Everyone's just going to have it for you, right?
Yeah, well, I had an assistant, but I guess the problem in the bonfire didn't really.
What was his
They
name?
weren't allowed in. He wasn't allowed in the first class lounge.
Got it.
So he's in wherever.
He flew
everyone
coach.
else is. His name was. I never asked.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I called him John, but I think that might have been the first one. But I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, I guess some straight razors, phone charger that's a portable one, so I can charge my phone.
Okay.
Everything else in there, I guess, is kind of useless. So glad I rolled for that.
Yeah. So a resourceful find, because you found yourself a source of energy for your phone, which is going to provide you a bit more light, and of course a small weapon, which, should you come into a bit more close quarters combat,
Yeah.
hopefully will.
And I've got
keep
my
you handy.
torch.
But you, of course.
And some cigars.
And some cigars. Good to
Hand
know.
rolled.
Cuban.
Not rolled by me, but yeah.
Cuban, that's illegal.
And I've got a bag, so if we find more useful things, I can carry them.
Okay, good. You strike yourself with the knowledge that you still don't really know what you're facing, and as you see those glinting reflections in the dark, you think to yourself quickly, we need to start moving. We've got some kind of key, perhaps we should get back to the trolley.
I look at the golf bag, think to myself, well, I might have one of those, and kind of rummage through the pockets and pull out a flask. Pass it to Victor.
Roll some dice, please.
Oh boy.
Are these?
Oh, the red ones.
Oh, sorry, not the purple ones.
Big old metal thing full of alcohol when you're surrounded by flames.
Oh,
Seems
dear.
like a really good idea.
Fantastic.
Well, it's whiskey, so it's not that high a proof.
It's still going to do something, right?
It needs no. It does. It needs to be a high enough proof to be flammable.
Well,
Whiskey is generally not that high a proof.
Let's find out if it is.
If somebody's carrying around 151 and their flask, man, they're hardcore.
No sixes from me.
1-6.
Ooh, any
But
ones?
1-1.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're wasting time here, guys.
Yeah. Pass it to Victor. Whew. A little strong, but good stuff.
Take it from him. Take a swig. Love it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Pass it back. No, don't pass it back. Put it in my pocket to avoid another roll. And,
Put the lid on, then put it in your pocket.
Put the lid on, put it in the pocket. So I
Thanks,
slowly
everyone,
start
drink.
to move towards the door. In the process, I decide it might be a good idea to get a look at what we're facing.
Really? We don't just want to get out of here?
I want to have a look. I want to know what these guys
Well, wait.
are.
The dude, the fellow that was back there behind all the luggage went that way. Something tells me he has an idea of where to go that's safe.
Okay.
And he said he'd seen the things that were out there.
He's a crazy guy. We're in an airport. Let's just get to the plane.
He survived this long.
So have we.
Don't you have a key?
I do have a key. So if we go back the way we came, through our door, we can get to that trolley.
Yeah.
Is it safe out there?
I mean, we made it here in better shape than you did.
All right.
But I really don't know what those glinting
Do we
lights
need
are.
to know
But it might be nice to know
what's after
where they
us?
are. Because
I mean,
if they're
let's-
blocking the door,
How close is the bonfire? Can we see the door? Because we came in, it seemed like we saw the
It was
bonfire straight
a
away.
very small corridor that led into some kind of barricade. So you're not that far. You're like 5
So we can see
meters
the
away.
door.
Yeah, you can see the door.
Yeah, so there's nothing between us and the door. I don't see why we would stick around in the place with the bonfire of burning corpses when there were none in the other room and there was transport.
well, I mean, it's warm at least.
Cool, let's have a
We-
nap.
I take a moment and look through the luggage for a heavy coat.
Fine enough.
Oh,
Okay, let's just go.
Let's go.
Most of it had started to burn. You need to
Perfect.
start moving.
we move.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk through the door. You're back into the concourse, I believe you said, and I think I said you were about 10, 15 meters away from the car. So, what do you want to do?
I mean, let's start heading over to it. All of us.
Yep.
Seeing as we have the light and you have the weapon.
And I've got the keys.
Who's leading the way?
Well, I've got the keys. So,
Lead the way.
presumably, I'll be getting in the driver's seat of this thing.
Okay. Are you sticking together as a group?
Can
Yes.
you
Yep.
drive?
Probably. Let's find out, shall we? Yeah. I drive a van for a
I
living.
guess.
Yeah.
I
He
used to
could, he
live
could
there.
ride a bike.
Really.
Yeah,
It was,
Well,
it was a van.
Trant's never met a postman before. So.
I'd like to point out I'm the American here, and everybody knows that we can all drive.
Yeah, let's go ahead and have
Yeah,
me
what if
drive,
it's
shall we?
stick?
Yeah.
Why,
Unless it's annual. This is so true.
how come you're not a postman anymore?
Oh, it's a long story.
Oh, I
I
don't
wanted
care.
to pursue my dreams.
Yeah, no, I don't
So,
care.
yeah.
You feel the flames licking
As
at your
long as-
wheels.
I was thinking it wasn't like drunk driving.
Okay.
Oh, no, not that time.
Car
Well, it will
crash.
be now after
Not
that
that
swig of whiskey.
It was only a swig.
Ready?
I am not, but let's go.
Oh boy.
No.
Sixes.
Me neither. I haven't rolled more than 1-6 at all.
Two
But you
ones,
get two
though.
ones, though.
There you go.
Doesn't matter. You didn't succeed unless you want to burn your gluttonous. Up to you. You'd only get to roll both those dice.
Do you know what? I will.
Yeah.
I will blurn my gluttonness. Blurn my gluttonness.
By which we mean, of course, safely tear. and
Yes,
place in
of
bowl.
course.
Whoa,
We will-
flames again. Oh.
Metaphorically burn. Can we burn it all at the end? I'm going to assume that's a no.
What?
No, basically
Dang
we
it,
don't
not
want
at
to set the fire alarms off, so we're not going to
yeah.
do a big exposed flame.
That's absolutely fine. But anyway, let's re-roll these.
So you need to describe. Oh, sorry, no, re-roll them first.
Yeah, and
yeah.
if I win, I get to describe how my gluttonous.
Oh,
I did
God.
not. So
That's
Oh,
a
no.
no.
But we don't lose that one.
Yeah, we
right?
do.
we do.
We do.
Yep. Well,
Jeez.
No, you're going to start again soon. So, but I will now have 2 dice to start. So eventually, the power is going to start shifting over to the narrative.
Well, we're not out of dice yet, though.
But we did fail.
You did just fail.
Oh, we did
which
fail,
Means
that's
that
true.
we just
Yeah.
ended the scene.
That's right.
So
And we
you could
blow it.
extinguish that second
Yeah.
flame for me.
Would you like to?
I would love to, seeing as it was my fault
It's a
completely.
little warm.
That's fine.
Very
There we
nice.
go.
All right.
Oh, that lovely smoky smell.
So good.
We all look nervous at the fire alarm.
Yeah. It's fine. The carrier bag does so. So as you, it smells so nice.
So good.
As you peel away from the burning room, you notice that things are getting darker, much darker.
But
And
the lights are flickering.
the lights are flickering intermittently, and although you have your torches, the murmuring sound is not just exclusive to the room that you're in. It seems to be in here, and it seems to be a lot louder as you walk through the dark. That glistening that you saw in the background of the baggage reclaim area seems to be a lot more prominent and a lot closer to your feet. And as you look around, you notice that the shining is glinting right under your feet. You try to step around it, but as your name, sorry?
Victor?
Victor. As Victor steps forward at the front of the pack, he feels his leg tighten, like some kind of grip of some gelatinous fluid grabs onto him, and it tightens and locks and freezes, and he cannot move his foot. You're only a meter away from the car, so close to where you need to be, and yet you are stuck. We start the next scene.
Mate, can I have the key?
We've got to do truths first. I
Oh,
believe.
Yes, we do. These things are true. The world is dark.
I can't move.
This is my second day without my blood pressure medication.
I've got blue balls.
Oh, Trant.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah. Someone said if we put the lid on, it might keep the smoke in.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Tron gets turned on very easily.
Okay, good. Carry on.
You next, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry. Only Victor is stuck. The rest of you can still move freely.
Victor wishes it was someone else.
I see something reflective on Victor's leg.
Tron has a full driver's license and knows how to drive.
Good to know. The final one, this one. Whatever is grasping onto your leg is moving higher and higher as time goes
Jealous.
on. And
We
We
are all alive.
for the moment.
what are we going to do, Victor?
Guys, I can feel something. Something's moving up my leg. Can it?
Gross.
Can either of you see what it is? I hold my torch close.
Look shiny.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Are
Yeah,
you, like,
I hope so.
stuck in
Just stay
something?
calm. Can I see your torch for a moment?
Yes, you can. I
Can
pass
I
my torch over.
see the key for a moment?
I pass my torch over to Biff.
Take
So you want all of us to die, huh?
I hold the torch down closer to Victor's leg. What do I see?
Let's find out.
Oh boy.
Please save me, Biff.
Oh boy.
You can re-roll that one.
Okay.
Did
Nope.
not help.
Did not
Did
help.
you fail?
I failed.
You did.
I have
like
two
the bug?
ones. I will.
What have you got there?
My moment.
Hmm.
I will find hope when I'm able to reclaim my own reputation.
Ah. Now, moments, I believe, are a little bit different. So let me just find it.
Not
Moments.
looking good.
So, when a character is ready to live their moment, a conflict roll is required. If the roll is successful, hope is inspired. You have gained a respite of peaceful prayer, etc. So, so we need to do a roll. Now, you're going to give me those 2 ones, and then we're going to roll again.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not entirely that's entirely sure how it works, but we'll see.
I'm sure a charities lady will let us know. Jesus, again.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
God.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You can
This
die.
might be a very short scene.
If hope is lost, you must immediately darken a candle. Play proceeds to the next scene.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So,
Alright, so, well, you get... So, darken the candle.
Well, we're going to the next scene anyway.
so you're going to take that one back, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to stay with 3. And then you can put your leg back on. So, as you lower your torch down to the leg of your friend Victor, you notice that the glistening is not some object, but is the viscous, dark fluid which is surrounding him. And it is pulsing and moving and throbbing. Stop it, Grace.
Does Tron want to swap places?
I think it does.
As you hold your torch closer to this indescribable liquid, you notice that it is slightly glistening at the flames as they lick closer and closer. And you notice that it is not quite reflective, but it is eating the light from around your torch. And as you bring your torch closer, it begins to diminish, and it eventually completely secedes.
Okay, so he's holding Victor's torch, and I've still got mine. And my
Yes.
gun.
As the fire is consumed by this strange liquid, it starts to dissipate and soften. And as it becomes more thin, you feel your leg at least give you some kind of freedom. But you feel the horrible burning sensation around your skin. And as you look down, your entire trouser leg has been burnt to a crisp. And your leg is raw. Pussy.
Can you drive with that? Can you hit the pedal? Can I lunge forward and just get the key off him? Because he's...
These things are
Oh.
true. Your leg is gravely wounded.
I'm holding the key very tightly.
I'm trying to determine if Victor is safe to be around now.
Whatever's happened to his leg is not infectious.
You managed to drag Victor to the trolley.
I cannot drive with this leg.
I believe that Victor is dead weight.
My friend.
I have a spare set of trousers in my luggage bag.
And
We are all
We're all
alive.
alive.
so, you got yourselves to the trolley, and you are writhing in agony, trying to keep your mouth closed because you know whatever sound you make will draw them closer. Would you like to try the key?
Yeah, can we have the key because you can't drive?
In pain, I slowly open my hand to reveal the key,
Okay.
Can I get
trying to
it?
remain silent.
You grab the key without any issue.
Thank you. Alright, what do we want to do with this guy?
We've already put him on the trolley, so
In the luggage rack, right? Not in the main cabin.
why don't we start driving, and I'll make sure he stays on.
You've got the golf club. You keep an eye on him. Alright. Vroom.
They don't actually go vroom.
This one does.
This one does.
It's what made the noise.
He made the...
So, you put the key into the ignition.
It doesn't fit. You picked up the wrong one. Okay. I got 1 6
I got no success.
and 2
Oh,
1s.
thank gosh.
One sec.
All right.
Okay. The engine sputters, but it does start. I can't see the light, so I managed to get my phone out of my pocket, and the light manages to at least illuminate the bottom, so I can see where the arrows are pointing. We're still trying to get to Terminal D. Victor is in the luggage rack, and Biff is... So, you know, they have like a little cabin and then the luggage rack? So he's on the back seat, but he's like leaning over with his head sticking a bit out, so you can keep an eye on him. He is writhing around in the back. I managed to pull a strip of material out of the bag while the thing's in... I don't know how cars work. And I'm like... And pass it to Biff, who gives him it to clench down on so he doesn't scream, because I realised when I shouted last time that's going to get the things nearer. bit mad that I have to drive myself, but I'm like, I guess we'll get started. Does it need petrol? Is it electric?
It's electric.
They're electric.
Oh, okay, cool. And I also noticed that it has full charge because seemingly someone was charging it up to use when they got. So we start driving towards Terminal D.
So you're currently in Terminal B, which means you have to go through Terminal C. Normally the way to get through these places is to take the tram. So if you were to go through the terminals without using the tram, you would have to use the staff tunnels. So these are slightly disused, slightly dark. This is quite an old airway, and as you drive through, you manage to knock open a few double doors, and you find yourself in a long corridor. And from the dim light that you have emanating from the screen that shows the electricity in your phone torch, you can see what looks like the tops of a couple of travelators, the long flat escalators that are pushing, and you can hear a rhythmic thud coming from the middle of the room.
So I brake.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to speed through this? Reverse through it so he goes first? Trick him in the middle to distract them and we'll go around the outside? What's the plan here, bud?
I'm still riding in the back.
Yeah, I know,
Biting
I'm not
down.
asking you.
Make a decision.
Okay, I mean, this isn't helpful.
Drive forward.
Alright.
I put a hand on Victor's shoulder.
In a moment of
A
warmth.
moment of warmth.
You're lucky that's not infectious.
I don't notice.
Wait, who's rolling, myself or Grace?
Well, Grace is driving.
Grace is driving.
Okay, Grace is driving.
Okay.
Sorry, Grant's driving.
1-6.
No sixes. Any ones?
No ones.
No
Ones, very well. All right, carry on.
So put my foot down and I start speeding towards the sound. I still have my phone, which is and also there are headlights on the vehicle, so we've got a bit more visibility than we would have otherwise. How wide? It's quite wide if there's a travelator on there. Must be room for people to walk as well, right?
It's not super wide in the centre because you've got the two travelators taking up a bit of room,
Right.
but there's probably like an arm's length either side of your vehicle.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put my
For the non-Brit here, what's a travelator?
It's a flat escalator.
Oh,
that you see
people
in
mover.
airports. A people mover.
People moving, yeah.
Please don't tell me that's what you call it.
That's literally what they're called.
Get on to the people mover.
That is what they're
Gotta
called.
move the people.
That is their technical actual name is a people mover.
It's a travelator.
It's a people mover.
an
Chat, help
escalator
me
is
out.
to
Help me
move
out.
It's
the
an elevator,
steps.
an escalator, and a travelator.
What? You mean the things that go like this that you...
Yeah,
They
they're,
make you walk faster,
they're called
isn't it?
people movers.
In
Not
your
called
country.
people.
Oh my god.
Please carry on.
So I'm speeding down. Do I need to acknowledge the thuds then?
Sorry.
Do I need to acknowledge the thuds if I'm narrating now?
Yes.
So as we drive down, they get louder, but it seems as though they're coming from underneath the travelator. We can see a little bit of the travelator through the glass, and the whole thing is like moving upwards, like pulsing in times with the thirds. And I'm like, screw this, fast as I can. But once we get to the third, it seems to be keeping time, and the pulses are moving alongside us, like it's keeping up with us. So I'm like, are you seeing this?
I'm seeing it.
We could just check it.
Just keep driving.
You can still talk, by the way.
I thought I was writhing in pain.
You're getting used to it now.
Okay,
Can you
fine. We're getting used to
screaming
unbearable pain. Perfect.
Okay. I mean, as I'm driving, I'm fishing in the bag and I'm getting that razor out. Because Tron is not going out like this. And then I guess we're coming towards the end of the travelator, and I'm slightly concerned about what's going to happen next.
Oh god, guys, James is not Sargon of Akkad.
Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber, I think.
Oh, okay.
Not a good one.
Oh,
James. James is a
Associate Community Manager, indeed.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right. Sorry,
me.
carry on.
Okay. As we get to the end, the travelator does a big like the whole thing ripples up and then falls flat, and we make it to the doors, but they don't open as easily as the other one did.
Okay. What do you do?
I ram into them again.
All right then.
I got 6.
I got 1-6.
So
What does that mean?
Ooh, that's a good question. What happens in a case of a draw?
I think it's broken by
old
DM.
Charities lady.
I think DM breaks it.
I think that's probably how it is.
Do I want to re-roll? Would that be
Hold on 1
useful?
second.
I've got this boy ready to go.
Oh, I see. How many ones do you have?
1.
1. So it wouldn't be a great reroll.
No.
Oh, what else is used?
Oh, 2 of them have been used.
So you do it then, right? And
It's okay,
also-
Thought. See, I just
Thought.
I thought it said thought the unclean. I was like, that's a really interesting name, but no, it's Throt the unclean.
That's Warhammer character.
Yes.
It's a Warhammer character.
Yeah, so I think we win,
Yes.
but you get to narrate it.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that.
I think that's
fair.
fine.
Okay.
We might as well just
Okay.
decide on something.
Please take the responsibility away from me.
So you speed up to ramming speed, and
Ramming speed.
and as you launch yourself into the doors, as you said, they're slightly more difficult to open, and that's because once again someone has tried to ram bits of luggage into the corners of the corridor to try and stop the door from
I
opening.
really wish they stopped doing
As
that.
you crash through, you make a very loud noise, and you find yourself just outside of security in the main part of Terminal C. Around you, you see some stunned travelers. They are haggard, they are tired, and they are wielding some kind of weapons.
How long have we been here?
It's been a few days since.
Had we like passed out when we woke up and missed a couple of days? Because everything seems to have escalated, and we're just like, how do we get here? And everyone else is like in tribes with luggage barricades.
Things definitely happened from terminal to terminal, and as you were a bit more central in Terminal B, you missed most of the first epidemic as it hit you.
But the guy's in the baggage room.
That was slightly that came from outside. Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not trying to pick holes. I just
that's fine. That's fine.
I just need to
Give
know
you some,
my
some
situation.
context. So around you. Apparently the players get it, according to Charity's lady. That's fine.
Yep.
Oh, you
Do
gave
that.
us a win,
Not
so
bad.
that's fine.
There you go. You carry on. You carry on from where I put you.
Do I need to narrate it, or do we all discuss
Just
them?
carry on with normal gameplay. So feel
Okay.
free for anyone to.
I
leave.
think. Well, no,
Hey,
you do
guys.
narrate it.
Hey guys, how's it going in here? Something out there.
Where did you come from?
The doors you just saw us. We drove through just now.
We thought everyone was dead.
We
Well,
were
why not?
in B terminal.
He might be dead soon.
Help! I'm
Oh,
so
God.
injured.
Oh
Please.
God, he's been touched. Johnny,
Someone should be.
Johnny, get the weapons. Get the weapons. They start backing off, and you see one of them hold up a revolver.
I start
point it
backing
towards
away from him too.
So you're in the luggage carrier. So would you like to get out?
I had my hand on his shoulder the entire time. I push him out of the cart
I've got some hand
and I step
sanitizer.
out. I step out the other side.
As you push him out of the luggage carrier, you notice the man wielding the gun start pointing it towards Victor.
Yeah.
Victor,
Good move.
No, please, don't shoot me. Please.
it's too late for you.
It's not too late. I can remove the leg. Take something off.
I start moving around over try to stand next to the guy with the revolver.
I try and stand next to one of the female passengers.
So they're quite far away from the car now. They've backed away.
Yeah.
So for you to step forward, you need to roll some dice.
I'm not stepping forward. I'm stepping away from the cart to the side and then moving at an angle around.
Okay.
So I'm not walking straight at them. I don't want to appear threatening.
Man holding a revolver takes one of his hands off and points at you and says, "You stop moving right now. Now I want everybody to just stay calm here. Now this is very simple. You put him back where you goddamn found him.
So far.
Maybe we can talk."
Can we just chuck him out there? Because we came a long way. And I don't want to go all the way back and come all the way back.
I came a long way too. We've been through so much. How can you think about just leaving me behind?
I mean, I've known you for like 2 days, man. I want to be alive here.
I think on the scale of the scope of people I want to be around or keep around, you don't rank high amongst them.
Could chop the leg off.
Yeah, take the leg. Take the leg.
Just take whatever has been touched and get it out of this terminal. If that's a case of removing whatever appendages have been touched, then you need to do that now before I start firing.
Do you want to do that?
Please?
I can't get blood on this.
Give me well, what did he have to bite down on?
A rag.
Just
But
like a
you've got the
rag.
alcohol as well, so you can always
Oh, that's all right. I've already
soak
got
a
that.
rag in that. Chuck some alcohol in there.
How long is the rag? The rag is long. Is long.
Yeah, I ripped
So
it off
I'm going
trousers.
to. I'm gonna take the. You ripped it off his trousers.
My trousers.
Your trousers. Oh, your spare trousers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let's say
take
it's a
that.
trouser leg.
Okay, I'm gonna take that rag. I'm like, don't shoot. And I walk towards him. You need to pull your pant leg up, and I make very carefully try not to touch the affected area, and I attempt to try to tie a tourniquet.
To cauterize, I suppose.
No,
is the
I'm
word.
trying to tie a tourniquet around
Okay,
his leg
stop the
to
blood
cut
flow.
stop the blood flow.
Okay.
Before he does that, I take the whiskey out of my pocket, down the rest of it.
Okie
Oh,
dokie.
that's not good.
Okay, I guess I don't get any
Gotta get rid
alcohol.
of the pain.
Not rolling any sixes.
6.
There we go.
Any ones?
I have no ones.
Okay, what happens?
So I managed to successfully tie a tourniquet around his leg without touching the affected area. Strangely, as the blood flow gets cut off to the leg, the pus that was kind of the basically what looks like an infection, the pus, the oozing pustules, actually start to recede. As it becomes very obvious that whatever it was actually feeding upon the blood in your leg, and that's how it was drawing nutrient and sustenance and replicating. However, without the blood there, it begins to the substance actually begins to devour the muscle and the tissue around the leg until you are left with essentially it self-amputates. It just eats away until all the way down to the bone.
You hear people around you scream in disgust.
I'm vomiting again.
You're vomiting again. And the man with the gun is shaking, and he lowers the weapon, and he says, You gotta get out of here. I don't care which direction you move in, but you get the hell away from here.
God, drama queen, man.
Which way is it to terminal terminal D?
We on the wrong side here. You need to go all the way over.
Oh, no.
Just don't touch us, man. Just don't touch us.
We followed the signs. They're trying to send us the wrong way.
This is the wrong side of Terminal B. C, rather. You gotta get over to the exit. This is a big place.
Now,
I
son,
believe you.
I understand what you're saying, but that sign says we need to go through here, so we're gonna go through here.
You can go through here if you want. I ain't gonna tell you which direction to go as long as you use a direction that gets you further away from me. That's for sure.
Do we need to take old Bone Leg with us?
I'm using this time to crawl my way back onto the luggage.
You ain't goddamn keeping in
like
here.
that.
That's for
It's
sure.
just-
You get that man the hell away from my family.
Chill out, bro.
It's all right, son. Don't worry. We're not here to hurt no one. So I'll tell you what. I put on my best smile. I'll tell you what. You got another one of them there guns? One of them there pistols?
Oh, boy.
1-6.
No sixes.
No ones either.
And no ones.
Oh dear. So, as you step closer and try to turn on the charm, what you accidentally do is turn on the threat. As you get closer to the man, he becomes more and more nervous, and he holds the gun away from the floor now and up towards your face. He is not happy. If you don't get the hell away from me right now, I will burst your head open right in front of this goddamn wall. I don't care. And he starts to usher you away from him. You stop, hands up, moving away. And although you wanted to take the cart with you, in a position of weakness, they force you to leave it here. Perhaps they wanted their own escape vehicle.
What's he doing?
You're going to have to drag him with you. And you are not going to be allowed to leave him here.
This is so vulgar.
They give you some kind of luggage trolley.
Yeah.
And you hoist him up. He's hurt now, and the bone that was remaining from his leg is pretty much disintegrated.
Yep.
But at least the pain has slightly subsided. It's nowhere near as acidic as it used to feel. And as you look down at your leg, you can see that it's almost just a dried stump.
Loving the pop at the end. That's amazing.
Popping pea.
Never going to be a gymnast now.
As you start to move away from the group, the man with the weapon sort of chaperones you, making sure that you don't leave your new
Stump
baggage behind.
Which way are we moving?
Hmm?
Which way are we going?
No.
So
the way of
you're
the
on
sign.
one side of Terminal C right now.
Yeah.
Terminal D, of course, is on the other end. So
Right.
you're moving in that direction.
So we're going the right way.
You're going the right way. You're just not entirely
Right.
sure which.
With all the distance
Which the
between
route is.
terminals, we're obviously at Chicago O'Hare right now.
Sure.
Trust me, if you've never been there, it is an absolute hellhole if you have a tight connection. So,
And what's the light situation like in Terminal C?
It's not great. It's
Ah,
really
cool.
not great. And these are the things that are true.
no,
Well-
Godsmack, it was Victor that was a rather rotund, a stocky
Yes.
fellow, actually.
Are these
Yeah,
yours?
he's
These are
taking up
yours?
most of the baggage.
Yes, he is.
No, I just need 4.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, those 2 people.
Yep.
These are the things that are true. The world is dark.
My pain is slowly subsiding.
I'm feeling a slight tightness in my chest.
I'm feeling really healthy. The adrenaline's helping.
As you reach further and further into the terminal, you see some large pane windows.
There's a slight rattle on the baggage cart that I'm on currently.
I'm finding it difficult to push the baggage cart.
Okay. And
And
We
we
are
are
all
all
alive.
alive.
so you find yourself in some kind of waiting area. There's various shops and cafes and things around you. You must be in some kind of duty free. As I said, the large pane windows are to your east, I guess, and mainly the shops are to your west. And you're currently in the large seating area. Lots of seats that are either full of corpses or discarded luggage or have been pushed over entirely. It's a bit of a mess here, and you can see that there was some kind of horrible event.
Well, this is a dump.
Maybe a dump, but at least I'm still here. Thank you guys so much
No, don't
for
talk.
not leaving me behind. Biff especially. Not so much you, Trent. No offense.
You disgust
I'm
me.
starting to sweat a little bit, and I'm kind of not paying attention to either of them. I see a pharmacy, kind of like a magazine newspaper stand over there, and I start walking towards it, looking, hoping to find some of the little travel aspirin.
So you've only got one light source between you, so who's holding it?
You can take my
No,
torch. I've
we
got my
don't
phone.
have.
Oh,
we
you
have.
could, okay. You
I
can
pull
turn
my
on the
phone
for us.
out, still clutching the 5-iron, and I walk towards the little where they always have like aspirin or
Your battery's
etc.
dipped a bit since.
I'm following him. I don't want to be left with him.
My battery's
so
down.
You're
to-
leaving.
Yes.
You're leaving
Well,
the
I
wounded guy.
had
Yeah.
conserved my battery earlier, so I
I've
only
got
burned about
torch.
5%, so I'm at 70%.
I would like to try and wheel myself along on the ground behind them.
I've
calling
got
out
no
the whole
legs.
time.
I've got no legs.
If you are going to leave Victor, he is going to be submerged in darkness.
Can I leave? I'll leave the torch with him.
Okay, and you're bringing your phone lights.
He's got his phone light. I'll prop the torch in the trolley and follow him.
Okay. So as you walk towards the pharmacy,
I could do some drugs.
you get further and further away from the pane windows, but you can hear So sort of tapping on the windows, some kind of movement outside. It could just be the wind, but it could be something out there. And as you move closer to the pharmacy, you can see that the place has been almost completely ransacked. Whoever was here was either looting, scavenging, or perhaps they even just completely exited the airport with as much stuff as they could carry.
Can I look for something that I can crush up and snort?
Yes.
I look
Tom needs
amongst
a little lift.
You're both having a look for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have 3 ones.
No
I'll re-roll.
successes.
So what have you got?
I'm
there?
resourceful.
Good.
So I rip it up first, and I reroll my ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you describe how that's helped you.
I'm resourceful.
How is your resourcefulness going to save us all?
Charity's
I
lady
mean-
recommends crutches.
I mean, he can sort himself out.
Well, you might happen to come across some in your, or
Cool.
maybe not.
Those tear-ups are really doing you a
They're
favour, aren't they?
Yikes.
Okay, so please extinguish another candle. So as you rummage through the pharmacy, both of you looking for different fixes. One is a bit more of a selfish fix than another.
If I'm going to pull that trolley, I need some form of energy.
You can see that most of the store, as I said, has been ransacked, and the majority of the items that you'd hope to be finding have been taken. There's some crap, there's stuff like cough syrup and things like that. And as
Wait, cough syrup?
yes,
Does anybody have codeine? I found one with codeine.
you hold your phone. I'm narrating, my friend. So as Trunk goes through, he finds some of the worst things that's been left over, and there's a couple of useful things. You find some gauze, bandages, and as I said, some cough syrup might have some kind of painkiller inside. But as you look around and as you get on your hands and knees to get to some of the lower things, as you saw before with the travelator, the floor is pulsing slightly underneath you, and you can feel yourself sort of rising and falling. You hadn't noticed it before, but now that you mention it, it's almost been following you as you move around. You
Make me
felt a little bit
The floor is
unsteady,
breathing.
and the tiling on the floor, a little bit away from you, maybe about 2 meters at the other side of the store, you notice it start to crack, and some of the glistening black ooze starts to burst through and starts to crawl up the walls and across the floor towards you, and you find yourself needing to run.
Not today, Satan. Okay.
These things are true. The world is dark.
I can wheel myself around somewhat sufficiently.
I push Trant towards the ooze and run in the opposite direction.
Trump was a cross-country runner in high school.
Although you scramble to sacrifice each other, you both make it outside of the pharmacy. But as you look around, it's not the only place where ooze is seeping out of the ground. You need to start moving.
First thing Tront does is grabs me.
And
We are
We
all
are
alive.
alive.
Did I grab you on the trolley, or did I just grab you?
On the trolley.
Okay,
You get to
that's
wheel me.
fine.
I'll give you that.
I'll hold you in front of me.
using you as a little sacrificial
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just pegging it.
I need another dice. I should have 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or even Stevens.
Okay, well,
So
screw
you're-
you.
So you don't care what he's doing, but you're pushing the trolley and you're sprinting away.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that you're going to try and follow.
I'm moving away from the ooze, whichever direction that is.
We're
Which
moving
will
towards
Conveniently
D.
take you with the rest
In
of
the
the group.
same.
Okay.
Okay.
I got 6.
I got no 6s. I'm not rolling any 6s.
No ones.
No
Just a
ones.
6.
All right.
Oh, well done.
Okay. So where I'm running towards the door on the other side of the terminal, the torch is still propped into the trolley. and he's managing to stay on and actually help a little bit by pushing himself along to give us that extra speed. Behind us,
Gotta go fast.
it sounds like Biff
myself one after the
is stumbling a little bit as the tiles are cracking beneath his feet, but I'm not looking back because that dude just tried to sacrifice me to the ooze, so screw him. I have my bit, I have my torch. It's Trump for himself now. So we're running towards the door, and the pulsing is getting more and more frequent, and kind of starting to see it rolling, like the floor like rippling a little bit. But the door is getting closer, but then I do hear a thud, and I do look around, and Biff has fallen over onto the floor.
Biff.
I fall to the ground. The tightness in my chest is actually increased, and I'm finding it hard to catch my breath.
Do you try to power through?
My survival instinct does kick in, and I
Fight or
stand
flight.
up. Yeah, fight or flight, and the adrenaline starts flowing. I try to remain calm.
No sixes.
6.
Any
No
ones?
ones.
Oh, wow. Carry on.
We're clutch rolling. I stand up. I manage to focus and to remind myself that I'm going to survive. I'm a survivor, damn it. I got to get home. And I run forward. Somehow managing to pull from the reserves and catching up with Trant as he's pushing the trolley across the room. I look forward and I see in front of me a clear path to the next terminal over, and we hear over the loudspeaker, "You'd better get here soon. I can't stay much longer. I'm taking off in 10 minutes."
So you're in the corridors that lead between the terminals, and as you press through, trying to escape the ooze, you notice that it's starting to drip from the ceilings now. It's everywhere, and you need to be very, very careful. As you're running through, Trant feels a small burn on his shoulder and tries to briskly push it off. Usually, he would have burnt his fingers, but luckily he caught just a bit of material blocking the fingertips, and manages to rip off the bit of material that was burning away as it was weakened by the ooze. Just getting away from it, you collectively as a group barge your way through the doors and find yourself in some kind of security hub where guards and police would convene. You're close now to the gates, but you have a few options ahead of you. You can either try and push through as you did through the large terminals and trying to find your gate, or there is an exit here. You could try to get outside on to the landing strips.
Did the pilot say which gate? Who was that?
It's a D14.
Ah, okay.
Said at the start on the intercom, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Tron wasn't listening. Okay, well, I'm gonna go for the gate.
To the gates on the inside, or are you going to try and snake around outside onto
No,
the
inside.
You guys going to follow?
I think outside's the best option.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
can get there
push,
faster that way.
push that trolley away. You
Push-
better hope
push me
you better
outside.
hope he's strong enough to push you then, bud. If you want to split up, that's on you.
If you don't want any bait, that's fine.
I can walk.
Not for long.
So I saw the ooze fall on to Trant, and I saw him do this, and so I assume that he's been infected. I grip the 5-iron very tightly and run up behind him as he's basically weighing the moral decision that he has to make towards the back of the head.
So he gets his leg eaten off.
And I'm totally fine.
I have 2 6s.
I have 2 6s as well.
So
But
it's
I also have
it's
2
actually-
1s.
So I'm going to take those ones, but it is actually your call, as Chatty Ladies point out.
I miss. I don't hit Trant square on the back of the head, but I do manage to hit between the shoulder blades, causing temporary amount of excruciating pain as Trant falls to the ground. I grab the trolley, look down at Trant and say, "You're on your own, son."
What the heck, bro?
And I push.
Babe, wait, babe.
I push Victor through the doors.
Cool.
As I push Victor through the doors, I look down and I say, "Listen, I know what you did. And if you want to make it out of here alive, you're going to tell everybody that it's just the two of us."
I stay silent, but look at him as if I understand, quietly.
I push through the open doors and start making my way down across the tarmac, hopefully to the plane.
So as you move through into the corridors that lead out onto the tarmac, you find a few more corpses littered around the room. There's a small teenage boy who looks almost fused to the wall, and you can see some of his skin has fallen away. He's melded in with the plasterboard, and catch a moment of quietness as you try to avoid it, trying to escape any ooze that might have followed you in. As you look down, another man is clutching a small piece of paper with one arm outstretched towards the door to the exit, but it looks like his face is completely melted away.
Yeah, I'm just going to nope right out of there.
I feel like we need to look at that bit of paper.
I feel like you're on a trolley cart and I'm pushing you past it.
There's not much. So I reach out just within reach of this guy, and I take the piece of paper from his hand, look at it, and I realize it's a painting of an open meadow, and it's beautiful, and I find just that glimmer of hope within it. Oh God. Here we go. No.
Unfortunately, that paper was not entirely clean.
Oh dear.
As you look at the meadow, you notice that there's a golden light that's been painted to illuminate the landscape in front of you, and starting with the sun, you see it start to smolder and burn, and you see the ooze grasping onto this piece of paper. And as you notice, as you were pulling up from the ground, it hadn't quite caught your attention that it wasn't entirely free. In fact, it was connected to the corpse. His hand, now stretched out, grabs onto the paper still behind the visage of the meadow. And as you try to let go, the paper sticks to your hand. The sweat has, from all of the adrenaline, has stuck the paper to you, and you're ripping it off desperately. But the ooze is dripping onto the trolley. The wheels are starting to squeak and break beneath you. And just as you push through the doors out into the landing strips, you're met with a sudden jolt, a stop. The wheel is broken, and you hit the ground. You fly forward. The small piece of luggage that you were resting yourself up against flies with you, smacks you in the head, and as you look up, you see the great ocean of black liquid ahead of you. The tarmac is pulsing and moving, and great pillars of what look like human hands are reaching out and pulling objects from the surface down into their dark clutches. An entire plane is half immersed into the liquid and slowly sinks like a cruise liner drifting into the ocean.
I'm inside still, right?
You're inside.
Yeah.
These things are true. The world is dark.
I was not.
Let's go around this way.
Sure.
I was not prepared for that. Some of the ooze inside seems to be drawn to outside, to the big ocean. so it's receding slightly around the edges.
There's a fuel truck right outside the door.
I was not touched by the ooze.
It seems the internal route was definitely the safer one.
Yeah, Tron comes through again.
And?
We
We're
are all alive.
Okay, so... you need to read that up, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So, you are split now. Tron ran through the main terminal, desperately searching for gate D14, and you find yourself on the precipice of the great ocean of eldritch horror that is this black pulsating sea. But there are small bastions of solid earth that you can try to move between, and you need to decide what you're going to do. Let's start with Tron.
Okay, so I'm inside. How far am I from the gate?
So you're at about gate 3 now, D3, and you need to get to D14.
Okay, so my back's killing me, so I can't really run anymore. So I'm sort of trying to stumble.
Double over a bit.
Yeah, the ooze is still dripping, but it's starting to try and head outside a little bit. But I can see that the rooms, the waiting rooms for each gate, are completely covered. Like, it's just darkness, and I can't see anything. And the floor is starting to ripple quite a lot, so I'm going to have to start trying to crawl. I do still have the razor out, even though they don't seem very scared of it, and I've got my phone clipped to my clippy thing that business people have.
Yes.
So I've got the torch.
Lapel?
Somewhere you clip a phone. You know, if you Bluetooth in.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I have the torch, front pocket, whatever,
Sure.
where you put your, what's it called? Pocket square.
Square, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to crawl towards the gate, but I'm worried that I'm not going to be going fast enough. So I have to try and find something that's going to help me go faster. So I can see what looks like healers that have fallen off the body, I assume, of like a teenager. Now Trent is quite small-footed, not indicative of anything else. So I might just be able to ram my feet in them. Guess we'll find out.
Are you guys glad that the dice are being wasted on this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Shouldn't have ditched me then, should you?
Oh,
Oh
no.
my goodness.
Wow.
Would
Would you like to...
you like to burn your moment?
Oh yeah. So I have to try and find a scenario that this could happen.
Does it get laid? I don't think
I feel like
I
this-
want to do that on stream.
So can we just
Small dead teenager.
no. That's all there's no teenager body.
Oh.
What? Describe to me how this is going to help you.
It'll give me some hope.
So you're imagining that the pilot is some stud, and if you can
No, I
use
think
these
more like a
Heelys-
solo session counts.
Okay. This seems like a bad time for it, but it's up to you.
So I'm trying to get these healers, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I at least want some form of joy before the end comes over me. You know, maybe some. Never mind. So yeah, so Trant's like, this isn't a great time. Probably gonna die. I'm just gonna try and distract myself. And he manages successfully, with a struggle, to have a nice time.
This is the weirdest roll I've ever done.
Do you have these as well?
No.
Okay.
You're burning
Oh
it, so you
yeah,
get to
I'm
re-roll
re-rolling,
it
re-rolling.
once,
I know. It's
Well,
something, yeah.
no, it's technically it's a separate encounter, so I'll let you roll all 4.
Okay. No.
So it was.
How can I put this? You can't get it up. Something about the situation is
This has
making you,
never happened before.
making you not maybe in the best of moods for this kind of activity. Coming to your greater senses, you decide perhaps this isn't the best time, and you're not really in the right frame of mind for it. So instead, you focus on the Heelys on the teenager, and as you pick them up to try and pull them off the body, the leg extends like, have you seen one of those paper statues that extends into like an accordion?
Yeah.
It does that, but you see it start to drip and pull like mozzarella cheese off a pizza. It drips
hungry
and
now.
burns the ground below it. And as you look around you, the floor is sinking, no longer rising and swaying. The building itself is starting to shift into the ground. The sea of black ooze around you is consuming the entire land on which you stand, and you desperately try to run away.
Yeah, those healers aren't going to help now.
No, they're probably not going to help in the first place.
If it's doing this, get some momentum going.
I'm
Goodbye,
gonna take-
candle.
Yeah, I'm going to take personal pride in. Disgusting candle blow. These things are true. The world is dark.
Which way are we going this time?
Let's go the same way.
D14 is in sight for Trant.
I find one of Tront's cigars in my coat pocket.
You thief.
The fuel truck works.
And
We are alive.
We are alive.
so pass me one of those die. And we are going to start with the two outside. What have you been doing in this time?
What have we been doing?
Oh, guys, by the way, if you're watching and you don't know, if you've just joined us, this is 10 Candles. This is a tragic horror RPG by Stephen Dewey and Cavalry Games. If you'd like to grab this for yourself, head on over to Cavalry Games' website, give it a Google, and you can use the promo code WAR, that's W-A-R, to get 15% off of your purchase if you want to grab it for yourself. It's very, very fun. I think it's about £10 for the PDF, so 15% off of that as well. It's well worth the price.
Yeah.
It's a really, really robust and flexible rule set, which you can use on a lot of settings, and it's incredibly fun. We're having a great time. Grace is having a horrific time, apparently.
I think I have both my legs.
Unlike some
yeah,
people.
if you'd like to play for yourself, or if you want to see us do another playthrough of this, let me know as well.
It
Yeah,
is
hope you're
very
enjoying it.
fun.
But let's carry on. So we are outside, and let's have a look.
Cool. So Biff, to the fuel truck over there. I don't know if you noticed, but earlier on, when my leg was still around, the black ooze things seemed to shy away from the flame, almost sort of recede at that point. I'm wondering if we can set that fuel truck alight and drive it into the ocean.
I love how nonchalant you are about losing your leg to ooze.
Well, sometimes past.
Hey, remember earlier?
You know what? There are
Sometimes
bigger
fast.
things
So,
happening.
It's been what, like 20 minutes now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so already
I'm
forgotten.
I'm listening to Victor, and Biff's heart rate is still going, and he can feel the telltale signs of that brush with death he had years ago.
It's a telltale heart.
Telltale.
It is a
Oh,
telltale.
nice. Good reference.
Oh, literary.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Indeed.
Allan Poe, no.
Oh, no.
He's a little lightheaded, a little dizzy, kind of accepting fate and feeling a little bit, well, this is how it ends at the moment. And he pulls out the cigar, bites off the tip, lights it, says, well, I reckon we find out. Grabs the rag that you had been using, walks over to the fuel truck with this apocalyptic, Lovecraftian scene unfolding around him. Opens up the valve, sticks the rag in, lights it, picks up Victor by the scruff of his neck, and attempts to walk over to the front of the truck to start moving.
Jesus, okay.
We're going full on. No sixes?
No sixes.
Oh boy.
I haven't had like more than one at any point.
No sixes.
Oh man,
You
no
talking
no
about no
ones.
sixes.
No sixes, but no ones.
So we can't really burn anything to help us.
So, as you try to light the rag in the fuel valve. Sorry,
Yep.
as you put it. Some of the ooze from underneath the vehicle lifts up and starts to suckle on the light and energy coming from it, and consumes the box of matches straight out of your hand. You stagger backwards, and you realise that out here, amongst such inescapable amounts of this dark liquid, it's going to be difficult to light such a small fire. And you think to yourself, perhaps there's other ways to make a flame. You walk to the front of the vehicle, to the fuel truck. You hoist your unlikely friend up into the passenger seat and get yourself into the driver's seat. And with the fuel valve still open and starting to seep fuel down into the liquid, you strike the ignition and start slowly driving forth. As you drive, the vehicle is seeping in and out like thick mud, and luckily the large tyres are allowing you to get some kind of traction, pushing you onto the bits of land that still remain. As you look out the window, you see the entire terminal sinking into the ground, and the great windows that once allowed passengers to look out across at the planes taking off and landing are now almost half into the ground. The building has almost broken in half, and you can see bits of debris falling. And you think, just for a moment, you see your old nemesis Tron running through, trying to avoid those falling bits of rubble. And you look off into the distance, and there, with its turbines starting to twist, is the last remaining plane that has not been consumed at gate D14. These things are true. The world is dark.
Did we need to put a candle out, or did I miss it?
Did we not?
I don't think we did.
The world is dark.
Tront won't trip over.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
As the truck rumbles to life, I turn on the radio, and the song by Willie Nelson, "To All the Girls I Loved Before," is playing.
I'm going to say that it's probably a tape, as all radios and satellites have completely
Okay,
gone.
so in the cassette deck was
Yes.
the Enrique Iglesias Willie Nelson duet, "To All the Girls I've Loved Before."
And
We
We are all alive.
Wait, Grace doesn't get to do it? Oh
No,
no, it's only
it's
two
only two
candles.
candles.
I was going to say a screen flicks on, and the Netflix movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Grace.
Am I on the first floor or the second floor? Is it like a gate where you need the steps, or do I come out and there are steps up to the plane? For when I get there.
So
If I get there.
the terminal has various gates. They're all lined across. So there's ones on each side. Right?
Yeah.
So you're getting close to the
But
D14 now as you're running.
Which floor? Am I ground floor? First floor?
So you're raised up from the
Right.
Goop.
The goop.
The
Yeah,
goop,
let's say
yeah.
the goop. And as you look behind you, you can see that the rest of the building
The
is
chaos.
sinking and collapsing.
Yeah, I just
But
want to
the-
know if because you can't go from the door to the plane.
Yes.
So is the thing connected?
The gate is connected with one
Okay,
of those
cool.
tunnels,
Okay.
but
So-
you can see that the plane is starting up.
Okay.
His Holiness the Sloth, yes, there is a base. If you go to Cavalry Games, the website we linked up above in the chat, you can actually pay to download the PDF of the game modules.
Yeah, so we only started with a couple of paragraphs. Essentially, you're in an airport, you have to get to this place. Sorry. And one thing that's really cool about this system is that it can work in any setting.
Yep.
So there's one in which you all play dogs. There's one in which it's World War One. There's one in which it's medieval times. One where you're on a moon base, which would be really fun to do. And of course, it's the kind of thing where you can make up a scenario on the fly, decide with your friends what you'd like to do, and of course, as you carry on, each scenario will go wildly different based on the things that you're coming up against and the situations in which you put yourself. These guys could have just completely left the airport and tried to drive away. Maybe, you know, there's loads of different ways you can do it. It all happens on the fly. But we return to Tront, running.
So I can see an almost clear path. Whatever was distracting the ooze outside, some of it is starting to seep back. And it seems to have a bit of a red tint to it now, as it's getting stronger, it's consuming something, and it's starting to crawl up the seats and up the walls. So when before I could see into the waiting rooms, like, I can't see anything now. It's kind of like a black tunnel, and I can just see, like, the exit, like, flickering. So I'm trying to run over, and I'm not going to trip, which is good, but my back is still killing me, and I am starting to slow down a little bit, so I'm gonna have to try and just fling myself at the door and hope, like, intentionally throw myself and hope that I can reach it, because it's licking at my heels now and my shoes are starting to burn at the soles. So
But because they're Bruno Mali's,
they're very expensive leather shoes.
Yeah,
so
they're very good shoes.
yeah,
of
very
course,
good
yeah.
shoes.
So you said you're close to the gate itself now.
I have to sort of, like, throw myself to try and reach, like, grab onto the door handle, because otherwise I can't outpace it just running.
So as you throw yourself forward, you feel the burning of your shoes, and you land on the floor. You quickly throw them off, and you're just in your plush Calvin Klein socks, cashmere socks. And as you clamber towards the gate, you feel this strange sense of calm as you look around you and notice that the lights that signal that a gate is ready to take off somehow flicker on, and power comes back. You have a brief moment where you think perhaps there is some chance that this plane could really take off. You notice that you're the furthest away from this large, ever-increasing pool of liquid, and if you can get on that plane quickly, there's a chance that maybe you really could fly away. And you find yourself walking slowly through the tunnel that leads between the building and the plane, and just as you're trying to recollect yourself, you feel it start to shudder, because the plane is trying to pull away and take off, and just allow the tunnel itself to rip away as they attempt to taxi themselves onto some kind of landing or taking off point. Moving back to the fuel tanker.
I want to move the candles up front so everybody can see that we have only two
You know what?
candles
That's,
left.
Fantastic idea.
right there.
There we go. Two candles left.
There we go.
Gonna make it, guys.
So as
What's
the
gonna make
dulcet
it?
tones of Willie Nelson start, to all the girls I've loved before. Hold on, Victor.
Doing my best with one leg. I'm definitely British. I'm not American. I promise. It's your voice. You're inspiring me to do one.
Well,
Yeah, I was going to do a
Okay.
wide array of American accents, and then I just did the exact same one that
Yeah,
you've been doing every time.
well, the Southern American
Southern
or
drawl.
Southern
Good,
drawl
so
is
good.
quite easy to do. Rev the engine a couple of times, as if I'm wearing a cowboy hat or something.
Really wish we had the rest of that whiskey.
Sounds like you're wearing a MAGA hat by the
No.
disgraced politician and the amount of things you've been doing.
Anyways, rev the engine a couple of times. I left the valve open. There's a cap to it, and it's hanging down off of its chain, dragging on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so I rev the engine, and I start moving forward as fast as I can, weaving between the jets of this viscous black liquid that are erupting from the ground. And as I drive forward, sparks start to fly from the chain and the metal cap on the ground. And ideally...
Whoa!
You should have only 2 dice now.
Oh, shit. Shoot,
Language.
excuse me. Sorry.
Wow.
My apologies.
It's a
guys.
There we
mature
go.
stream.
Oh, okay. Fair. All right. Here we go. Nope.
No 6s?
No 6s.
It's ironic that I'm doing this because...
Don't you think?
So as the sparks fly, you were hoping that perhaps they would ignite the fuel behind you and at least give you some time to spread the fuel that you're trying to burn away what remains with. But as it catches fire, the huge amounts of oil inside of the huge tanker that you're driving around instantly ignites, and in a brief moment of calm, you press down on the accelerator and the vehicle entirely explodes around you. You're torn asunder. And from the brief moment you have still left on this earth, out the window you see the plane starting to taxi backwards, and you hope that perhaps at least some of you can make out of this alive.
Sorry, Victor.
These things are true. The world is dark.
Trying to think of anything vaguely helpful. The plane has not taken off yet.
Okay. And you guys can stay quiet for this one.
I am alive. Despite your best efforts.
So as you walk through the gate and start to pick up your pace when noticing that the plane is starting to pull away, you see these, I guess they have like a sort of fabric-y quality to them because they have to stretch and extend, right, these tunnels. So you see it start to rip and the metal supports start to bend and crack, and you come into a sprint. And as you fly forward, you see someone just desperately struggling to close the bulkhead of the plane.
Wait. wait. Come on. Please.
A terrified and haggard flight attendant looks up at you and pauses for a moment, and probably against her better judgment, shouts to everyone else in the plane and starts to pull the door open. She's hoping that they can slow down to give you time to come on, but you hear the pilot shout, "There's no time! There's no time!"
How dare you! I want to live!
You try to sprint towards the bulkhead, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm
Could
liking
you
it.
pass me your dice?
Awesome.
So there's a 1 in 6 chance.
By the way, how do we resolve our brink moments?
I guess we can't now.
Well, you're dead now.
Well, no, like I had mine previously. I didn't know if we were supposed to.
Oh, so
reveal it or
it's you still rip it. It's similar
okay.
to similar to a.
I'll
to a
reveal
thing.
it afterwards.
Okay. Ready?
Oh yeah, I did mine like a bunch of times. So.
Fair.
I didn't do mine once, funnily enough.
Okay.
Good for you.
Those of you who know what it is will.
No.
Goodbye, Tron.
Farewell,
You died
Trot.
as you lived.
Like a douchebag.
Demanding that people will do something for you.
So, as you wait for the inevitable, in your head, you've already made up your mind that you're not getting out of this, but some energy inside of you, perhaps some arrogance that how could Tront, first of his name, die in such a disgusting,
I'm
vile
actually the
way.
third.
He sprints
You
towards the
would be.
door. Sprints as fast as he can. He remembers his days as a
Cross-country runner,
runner.
yeah.
And
More about
uses
stamina than speed, but yeah.
that's
yeah.
fine. Uses every bit of energy still in him. He's weak and he's tired, and his feet are thudding against the metal floor, aching. He feels the bones inside of him rattle with every step, and he manages to grab his hand onto the plane, and he feels it tug away from him. It's starting to take speed now, but he pulls his way in and helps the flight attendant try to close the bulkhead, but the door is stuck. It is too heavy. You see, as you look down, your foot is caught inside the gap. And with some desperation, some passengers get out from their seats and push and
How dare
snap
you?
and rip your leg in half. And as the blood flows out from you, you think to yourself, in a moment of madness, at least you are alive. You look around, clawing yourself into the main body of the airplane. You're disgusted that there is no first class option, but as you look down, you see families. You see the weak, the wounded, all desperately clinging towards each other, clinging on for dear life, for hope that maybe they'll get out of this, hope that maybe there's something waiting for them when they touch down. With some luck, the pilot manages to push the airplane onto the landing strip, but just as he starts to take speed, he feels his wheels start to clog, and he feels the black ooze starting to consume his vessel. And he picks up the radio that talks to the whole plane, to the cabin crew, and he says, "I'm sorry, everyone, but I think we're too late." You hear the radio fall to the floor, and you feel the plane shifting ever so slowly in to the black ooze below you. At once you heard screaming, but the blood loss is getting to your head. Your ears are muffling. All you can hear is the sharp tinnitus of shock. And as you see the front of the plane tear and melt and rend itself apart, as the cold air from outside starts to whip at your skin, you realize that this is the end. And in a burning, acidic haze, you fall into the distant black abyss. And you are gone.
What? Oh. You can play the video messages.
This is Victor Lowe speaking. If you're listening to this, I'm dead. So are my friends. I was gonna say something else. I remember what it was. Now I don't. Bye.
To all of my constituents, faithful and true, thank you for your support over the years. It is with much regret that I have had to leave this world, an unfortunate victim of the darkness that has befallen us all. And now, the darkness. The darkness has truly claimed me once and for all.
Tron here. If I die, I would just like to ask that no one look in the bottom drawer of my office desk, and that the message on my gravestone reads, Tront, beloved by all. Please spell it Trent. Thank you.
I really hate Tront.
But Tron outlived both of you.
I'm super glad we went out in sort of a blaze of glory.
I know, right? You know,
And Tront died.
we even
like-
had good theme music going on.
I'm really glad that
Yeah.
also Tront lost a leg at the end. I feel
Yeah.
like that's appropriate as well.
That seems about right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where we would have gone in the plane anyway. Everywhere's
So
gone.
my big flaw, or my break was that I have seen you betray us. So sorry, Tront.
Right. So you should have
Similar
expected
to
this.
Tron.
I
actually.
mean, mine was sacrifice my friends, which I did in front
Oh.
of both of you frequently, as
That's
often
true.
as I
You
could.
didn't do that at all because you did not count them as friends.
Yeah,
This is also true,
but I
yes.
did try very hard to sacrifice both of you on multiple occasions.
you did.
So
Oh, you did, yeah.
Very,
No,
very,
we
very
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
What was your break?
Mine was, I have seen you eat a child. So I didn't really have too many opportunities to eat another one, unfortunately. But
Wow, that is
there we
gluttonous.
go. Not very flexible though.
Well,
Oh, it's supposed to be apocalyptic end of the
Yes,
world. I
that's
was
very
like,
true. I mean,
you
it'd
know.
only been a few days.
he was
You haven't
really.
wasted any time. Oh, the lights have gone out. It's been 10 minutes. Well, I'm hungry.
Better eat a
7 days
baby.
later.
Whoops.
It's like, guys, it's been
Well
7
done.
days.
That's what happened at Child with the Healers.
So, apocalypse rules.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, everyone, for
Oh,
watching. We've had a wonderful time. Have you guys enjoyed yourselves?
Yeah, it's been good.
time.
It's been
It was
great.
a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah. Hopefully we can do this again sometime because it's one of my favorite systems.
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
really fun.
It's awesome.
If you've enjoyed it, make sure you head on over to cavalrygames.com. I have got the link here, which I'll try and post again. Yeah, there you go. cavalrygames.com/10 candles. That's 10 dash candles. And if you do purchase either the book or the digital edition, the PDF, you can use the discount code WAR to get 15% off. Please go and support Stephen. He's got plenty of systems, a few others that I really want to try out, actually. So we should give him a message, see if there's any other ones that he wants to pair up with. Hopefully he watches this in the future as well and enjoys our playthrough. We've had an amazing time playing 10 candles. Make sure you use that discount code WAR, W-A-R. Charities Lady asks, what was my card? It says, I have seen them move through walls. And I was thinking ethereal at one point, but then I thought ooze, like seeping through the walls was
I
kind
was
of
thinking
like
ethereal as well, but I think
Yeah.
ooze works much very
Lovecraftian,
much
like
more.
pillars of ooze just erupting out of the ground and
awesome.
tendrils.
Yeah.
Perfect.
good stuff.
Very
Thanks
good.
very much for watching. Thank you very much to Charities Lady for helping us with the rules as well.
Thank you.
We had very little time to quickly read them because I have played this a while before, but it's been a long time.
We didn't get to use a single hope die, by the way.
Yes, I know.
That's crazy.
I saw Charities Lady in the chat saying, "Wow, not one moment has succeeded."
No. Not through lack of trying, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
we all
definitely
tried.
tried.
We all tried.
Yeah, you definitely tried.
I guess
Grace.
we're hopeless.
Yep.
So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go and grab yourself a copy or have a look at some of the other RPGs available. I believe the discount code works on all of them. I think it's just Cavalry Games in general, so if you want to try out some of the other systems, I can't vouch for them myself, but I'm sure they're very good if they're by the same writer. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you soon. And remember, I need to now go turn the stream off.
How are we supposed to remember that?
Feel free to say.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Goodbye, guys.
See you in a bit.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye now.
Wheels. Bye.